Played forward from Stephen Trench into the penalty area, chested down by Danny Hall, picked up here by Adam Boyce towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, gets it back in. Liam Dickinson, oh, Nicky Bottle! He has put the ball in on the edge of the 6-yard box. Has Nicky Bottle turned this game round and perhaps possibly sent Guiseley through to the Vanarama Conference? Good afternoon and welcome here to Macclesfield as Guiseley Radio are here for the big game between Macclesfield Town and Guiseley in what could be the afternoon that the Lions secure their place in the Vanarama National. We couldn't have imagined that before Tuesday night, but all the results went our way, with the Lions coming out with a superb 3-1 victory over Wrexham. But it was very, very tough the last time we faced the Silkmen. Then on that afternoon, on that evening, they ran out 3-0, convincing winners, one of the better sides that we have faced, or if not one of the best sides we have faced in this division. So it's an incredibly big afternoon for the Lions. We're bringing you match commentary here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Stick with us, tweet us at Guiseley Radio.
Norburn goes for goal. Oliver Norburn! What a hit! All of 35 yards out. He had the sighter earlier. That is an absolutely stunning strike.
Yes, and good afternoon and welcome here to Guiseley AFC Radio. It's a sleepy end of season feel here in Macclesfield, with the home side already secure in this division but not able to press and make a place in the playoffs their own after impressing really earlier on this season when Macclesfield came to Nethermore. A 3-0 victory for the home side on that occasion. Guiseley never really at the races on a wet, I think it was a September evening, but tonight or today we hope for better, because here it could be the venue that the Lions secure their place in the Vanarama National. Superb victory on Tuesday night against Wrexham, and it had Mark Bauer absolutely delighted. I spoke to him after the game. Here's what he had to say. Mark, it's been some time coming, but that was a very big 3 points tonight.
It was, yeah. We knew coming, off the back of the East League game, these two home games, we needed to beat one of the big boys. We had to get 3 points in one of the games, and I thought from the start, from the first whistle tonight, the lads were top draw. Certainly helps us, when there's a bit of moisture on the pitch and the ball zips around, allows us to move the ball quickly. But it was built on good disciplined shape and then real quality when we went forward, and some top finishing, some real desire, but good decisions made by the players. We didn't try and overplay when it needed to go in behind and squeeze up the pitch. They did that, and boys who worked tirelessly for us, getting on the end of things and bringing us into play. And just a fantastic win, thoroughly deserved, and all the frustrations, times we've stood together, Colin, after games where it's all so close, sort of glorious failure almost. Got what we deserved, and maybe a little bit of luck at times, which has deserted us in the last few weeks. But no, the lads thoroughly deserve the win.
Yeah, we've talked about performances matter less than results sometimes, and if we could ground out a horrid 1-0 win, we'd have been happy. But tonight really was a top-class performance to go with the result. Yeah,
I think we ground it out in the second half. They're a top side. I think they've only lost twice in the last 13 games, and they had to win tonight to get in the playoffs. So this was no dead rubber for them as such. They were all out. They needed to win. Fully fit squad they got, so it was always going to be tough. But yeah, we knew that we caused them problems at their place. We knew we could score goals against them, and we felt we were robbed there. We knew that we could get the win tonight, and the players showed that belief, and showed some clinical finishing. Delighted for Boise. I think he's been so unlucky at times all season, hitting woodwork. Keepers pulling off worldies. He works so hard for the team, and he really does deserve his 2 goals tonight. Delighted for him.
And if anything, it could have been more in the second half. The keeper pulled off a couple of saves, and there was a couple of chances we might have poked home a fourth or maybe even a fifth.
Yeah, in that second half, we just sort of invited it on a little bit more than we would have liked. They've got good footballers throughout the side. I think the one thing that they've got is players that are comfortable on the ball. I think if you get in the faces and can stand up to them a little bit, they can be maybe pushed around a bit. And so when they started to play and take a few more chances, when we had that opportunity on the break, we should have done really. I think Gav had a chance. Tom Craddock, be disappointed he didn't score right at the end as well. But no, if you'd have offered me 3-1 at 7:45 this evening, Colin, I would have taken it.
Ollie Johnson, of course, had a great 45, but you brought him off at half-time. Was that just precautionary?
No, he had a little knock on his ankle, unfortunately, in scoring his goal early on. He was just tightening up and a little bit of swelling there, and so something he's done before, something and nothing, but he wasn't able to sort of push off for sort of last 15-20 minutes of the first half, so it was an injury that forced him off, and probably that did just take away a little bit from our attacking options in the second half. But Gav came on and as he always does, worked his socks off for the team, did a real good shift, does a lot of the unseen stuff, winning headers in our box even at one point. So coming to the game tonight with no Lockwood, no Hall, no Hurst, no Boschell, no Sinclair, and we lose Ollie Johnson at half time. That's over half a team out, so the lads put in the performance they did second half. Some lads shortened game time as well. It was really pleasing, and with the way the results have gone tonight, just gives us that little cushion again. But it's just one win. We've still got work to do, and go to Macclesfield Saturday and look to get another 3, and that should have us nearly there.
Well, as you say, the 2 results tonight going in our favour, with Altrincham and Halifax losing. 5 points clear now. Does that raise the pressure even more on the Macclesfield game now to do the job on Saturday, which could effectively leave us safe?
Yeah, well, there's always going to be pressure on that game, because whatever happened tonight, we're still going to need more points. So there's a pressure on that one. There'll be pressure on Bournemouth the week after, and Torquay after that. Hopefully it's for different reasons. And the lads should take the good feeling that they've got tonight. It feels good again to win a game. It's been a while, and we've had to pick them up at times when it's been really disappointing. But it's just 3 points. We've got to work hard again on Thursday in training, carrying a few knocks, because they've put their bodies on the line for us tonight. See how everyone is, and we've got to go again Saturday. There's no hiding place. We've got to get out there and put in a good disciplined performance again. And if we can finish like we did tonight, then we've every chance of getting the win.
You've talked about how special it is Tuesday nights under the lights at Nethermore. Tremendous support tonight. Hopefully the same on Saturday.
But yeah, I'm sure they'll travel in number. When we had a good following at Southport a couple of weeks ago, and that was our probably worst complete 90 minutes for a long time. We let the supporters down that day. So hopefully they can travel in number, and it can be a good day for us. Going away to one of the big sides in really good form at the moment. I think they're unbeaten in about 7 or 8 as well. But we've taken Wrexham, who were on a good run themselves, beat tonight. So let's go there. Try and be positive again, but keep that discipline and organisation that we've shown that's got us a lot of success at Eastleigh, and held out the league leaders for 80 minutes on Saturday, and was the foundations for the win tonight.
That was Matt Bauer speaking to me after the game on Tuesday. I keep getting my days of the week wrong here, Chris. You'll keep me right. I'm Colin Robertson. Alongside me today is Chris Bell. Chris, of course, you were commentating on Tuesday night's game, and just your reflections first of all on that match.
Oh, it was remarkable, wasn't it? I mean, we'd been threatening to pull out a kind of performance and like a result like that over the last couple of weeks and couple of games since Southport, basically. And it came, thankfully. We got the goals. I mean, what a 14-minute spell that was in the first half when we got the 3 goals that really did upset the apple cart for Wrexham. Hence, they were forced into 2 tactical changes before half-time itself. So, it was a dominative first half from Mark's side. The second half, we knew that they were going to come out at us. I mean, they were playing a 4-2-4 formation. They had to throw everything they could at us. And we defended resolutely and strongly enough as well. And we, at times, have looked a little bit shaky when we've been under that kind of pressure. But on Tuesday night, we saw it through and got what was let's be honest, quite an unexpected 3 points as well against a side that were at that point all about the playoffs.
Yeah, and not surprisingly today, Mark Bauer delighted with the performance on Tuesday night. He selected or made very few changes to this squad today. I'll just quickly run through them. Stephen Drench in goal, Ryan Toulson, Ben Parker, Danny Lowe, Jake Lawler, Adam Boyes, Will Hatfield, Ollie Johnson, Rob Atkinson, Anthony Dudley, Oliver Norburn. On the bench today, Adam Lockwood returns to the subs bench. Tom Craddock, Gavin Rothery, Dan Atkinson and Nicky Boschel. Not surprisingly, no changes really to to talk about.
Yeah, just the one in the entire squad, and that's Adam Lockwood coming back into the squad on the bench, replacing Adam Smith. And absolutely right, as you say, off the back of a performance like Tuesday night, really, why fix something that's not broken?
Hasn't always worked out that way, though, has it, this season? We've seen big performances against Grimsby, against Tranmere, and then the follow-on game on the Saturday afterwards has fallen a little flat for us.
Yeah, it's been disappointing as well, because it's been in them cases where we've had, I can't remember who the first one was, but the second one we had Bromley and then putting a disappointing a 2-0 defeat away at them. Is it a case of they've given everything on the Tuesday and they're just worn out perhaps? Hopefully not, because Guiseley didn't really stretch the legs that much in the second half, to be fair. Hopefully what's at stake in this game will come through more so than tired legs or that kind of thing, because the fact that if we get a win, or if we get a point, it could see us safe come the end of the day.
I know, it's tantalising, isn't it? Absolutely tantalising. Ollie Johnson starts again. He was excellent on Tuesday night. He spoke to Tom Feeney after the game. Here's what he had to say.
Tom Feeney with Ollie Johnson after the 3-1 win for Guiseley over Wrexham. Ollie, first of all, how are you doing? Because obviously you came off at half-time.
Yeah, it's a little problem with my foot, what I picked up in first half. I'm hoping I've just jarred it. I'm going to get it x-rayed and hope for the best, really. Hopefully it's not too serious. So, yeah.
Hopefully it isn't too serious, but looking at that first half, it was a marvellous performance, and obviously for yourself, first goal of the season.
Yeah, obviously that was really pleasing, obviously to get a goal, but the performance was superb, really, and obviously the main thing was getting the 3 points. Obviously at this stage of the season and the position we're in, it was massive, and I think we went out there, we were positive from the off, we kept a good shape, we pressed well at the right times, and we just looked really lively and sharp out there, and it's a great night for us.
For yourself, just how good was it when the ball hit the back of the net? Because you celebrated, you really did.
Yeah, there's a lot of relief, a lot of emotions came out, really, a lot of relief, just delight, really. Obviously I've had a bit of a tough time with injuries and whatnot, and it was just a really good feeling to get the goal. But obviously at the time, it's only 1-0, isn't it? And you've got to straight away get your head back on the game, because there's a lot of football to be played, and obviously Boise's added a couple more, and you're kind of thinking, yeah, but it's still only half a job at the time. But yeah, we've managed to see it through, which is great for us.
Looking at the performance, would you say that's the best of the season?
First half, you've got to say it, isn't it? 3-0 up at half time, you've got to say it's kind of the benchmark. What we've showed what we can do, and it's something we need to carry on for the remaining 3 games, put the same level of performance in, and that should, as long as we put that level of performance in, it should see us over the line and we should be safe. But obviously there's still 3 huge games to go. We've got to be mentally in the right place and not get too carried away.
And I don't know if you know, but results have gone Guiseley's way tonight. Halifax have lost, and also Altrincham, so another little positive for Guiseley.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's been a good night for us. Obviously going back in and seeing the results is an added bonus. It's sort of the icing on the cake to the result we've got. But like I say, the job's not done still. We've got to stay focused and look to Saturday now at Macclesfield.
I was going to say Macclesfield, I know they're mid-table, but they're a decent side. It'll be a tough away game.
Well, yeah, we saw that when they came here at the start of the season, and they absolutely bopped us off park, really. Beat us 3-0, and they're one of the best teams who have come here. Granted, we didn't play well that night, but we know they're a good team, we know what they're all about, and we're going to have to be at the top of this game to go there and get something.
Ollie Johnson there talking about being at the top of our game to go and get something from Macclesfield. Of course, Ollie Johnson warming up just before this, when we arrived, really, just going through his paces. Went off with an injury on Tuesday night. He's pivotal, isn't he, to our success?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he, as I say, went over half-time with a knock to his ankle, and that was what forced him to go off for the second half. And for me, we didn't quite look the same when he went off. Obviously, that was in part due to Wrexham throwing everything at us, but also the fact that not only is he a pacey, tricky outlet to have, he's also quite a strong and physical outlet as well.
And obviously when Gav came on, he did his best in that respect, but he hasn't got that physical presence that Ollie Johnson does have. And as you say, he was having a late fitness test when we arrived just to give him the once-over, basically, and thankfully he has passed. I wouldn't blame Mark, depending on the situation at half-time, though, if he were to withdraw him again, bearing in mind that there's 2 crucial games to come.
Yeah, I know, it's funny, isn't it, Ollie Johnson? You always want to sort of wrap him up in cotton wool and deploy him at the key moments, don't you? But it never quite works out like that, does it, in the way a game will run? Who would have thought we'd be 3-0 up against Wrexham on Tuesday night? One man who didn't have much to do in the first half, but had plenty to do overall the 90 minutes, was the goalkeeper, Stephen Drench. He also caught up with Tom Feeney after the game.
Tom Feeney with Stephen Drench after the 3-1 win for Guiseley over Wrexham. Stephen, first of all, just how good a performance was that?
Probably one of our better ones of the season, to be honest. I think first half, everything we seemed to hit flying the back of the net, which is a nice change. And then second half, obviously Wrexham came out, they had nothing to lose, and we defended really well. Obviously a bit disappointing to concede from a corner, but I mean the amount of pressure they were always going to get them sort of like little half chances, so but we saw it out on the end, and it's a massive result for us.
I was going to say, when you look at the performance, beating a team that were trying to get into the playoffs, I mean, it's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've said over the last couple of weeks, we played Tranmere, we played Grimsby recently, we played Eastleigh away, and we performed really well, even Saturday. Obviously for the first 80 minutes we performed really well, but we haven't probably got the points that we probably deserve to get. But obviously tonight, first half, we took the game to him a bit more positive and said let's go and have a go at him, rather than letting them dictate the play. We need to obviously get a result taking us into the weekend, so it's a good performance by everyone.
And I mean, being in goal, it must be a great feeling to know that you've got a 3-0 head start.
It is. It's a few of the fans are giving me a bit of stick behind the goal, saying, "Oh, there you go, it's a nice easy start." I said, "Yeah, see how long it lasts." But yeah, it does take the pressure off the defence a little bit when we get a couple of goals in front. But at the same time, it's the old adage: 2-0 is always a dodgy scoreline, because if they score, they get the momentum up. But at 3-0, you think, well, we're halfway there, but. We said at half time, obviously there's still 45 minutes to go. The amount of times we've been in situations where we've been 2 or 3-0 down and thrown caution to the wind, and we've got something out of it, so it was important that we saw the first 15-20 minutes out and then carried on from there.
And for yourself, I mean, there was a spell where you weren't in the team. Just how good is it to be back playing?
It is good. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I did miss playing, but at the same time Dan's come in when I was ill and he's done well, so I can't really complain really. But obviously anybody who knows me knows that I'm not the type to sit in the stand and be happy with that. But like I say, I'm happy that I'm back in the team now, and just good that we've got a win after such a long time without one.
And I mean, it must be a great feeling to not only gain the win, but then have a look, and results have gone Guiseley's way tonight. Yeah,
it's strange really. I've never known anything like it. We seem to be, when we do pick up points, or even when we don't, results seem to be going for us, which is a nice change really. I mean, the last couple of years in the Conference North, when we've not won, teams around us have won, but whether it's when you win at the bottom, teams don't, I don't know. But yeah, we'll take it. It's a big 3 points for us. But at the same time, it doesn't mean anything. We have to perform again on Saturday in 3 games, and until we're mathematically assured of being safe, then we can't let our foot off the pedal really.
I was going to say the job isn't done yet, but it's Macclesfield away next. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I think it'll be similar tonight really. I'm not sure how Macclesfield, whether they can get in the playoffs or not, so it's one of them. They could be pushing to get in there, or they have nothing to play for and they have a licence to go out and play with a bit of freedom really. But regardless of who we're playing the last 3 games, we need to perform like we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure we'll put in another good performance, and we can only go from there.
Well, that's Stephen Drench talking after the game against Wrexham on Tuesday night to Tom Feeney, and he was obviously delighted to see the points and the results go our way on Tuesday, and it is unusual, isn't it? Recently we haven't even been, when we've been in bad form, been caught up necessarily by those teams below us. We haven't been in the bottom 4 as yet.
Yeah, we've been perhaps very fortunate in that respect actually, that even thinking back to a week last Tuesday when we didn't play, other games were taking place, and thankfully on that occasion there wasn't a great deal of ground made up. I'm just thinking, do you reckon they're playing the Great Escape for us?
Yeah, the Great Escape, yeah. And I like that. It, it sort of suits for us, doesn't it?
It does right now.
It's all on. Build us up and get us ready. Just hear from one more man on Tuesday night. Again, another impressive performance, an ever-present this season. A very, very consistent performer. Danny Lowe, he also caught up with Tom.
Tom Feeney with Danny Lowe after the 3-1 win for Guiseley over Wrexham. Danny, just how big a result is this for the side?
Oh, this time of year it's priceless, really. Obviously, we've had a tough run of games, to be honest. I mean, every game's tough in this league, but we really have had a lot of big teams down here, full-time sides, and we've played well and just not got the right results. So for us to turn that performance in and that result this time season, then we'll just have it on with it, really.
I was going to say, to beat a team like Wrexham with the heritage they have, and a team that were trying to get into the playoffs, if results had gone the way and they were able to gain a couple more wins, they could have been in there by the end of the season. It really does mean so much more for the side.
It does, yeah. I mean, Saturday we played ever so well for 80 minutes, just a couple of lapses in concentration against a full-time side, and we got punished. Forest Green here we played really well, Grimsby we played really well here, so it's not like we haven't managed to put performance in like that, we just haven't really seemed to got the results, and tonight everything came for us. That with the commitment there, we were pressing well, closing down, and we were very clinical when we actually nicked the ball back, which we're a little bit guilty of sometimes on Saturday, just wrong decisions, but we got it forward early when we pinched it off, and OJ took his goal really well, and Boise and Dudley combined well, and Boise turned up big time for us tonight. So yeah, really good evening for us.
I was going to say, when you look at OJ, when you look at boys, they get the goals, it makes your life a bit easier, doesn't it, when you've got a 3-0 head start?
It does, yeah. I mean, you know yourself, you know, in this league we've played well, especially at the beginning of the season more so. We had free-flowing football, played really well, but we never just could kill teams off, and ultimately we got punished. The standard of the league against the opposition, we it became a bit of a pattern that we'd play really well and get sucker punched just before our time. Tonight we've managed to do the complete opposite. We've put in the performance and we've also took us chances. And at the other end, I mean, disappointed to concede again, but this time it's all about results. And we were strong at the back, I think, pretty much all game, comfortable enough, and we were very clinical going forward. And if you do both of them things right, then you're going to win more games than not.
And it must be a great feeling at half-time and full-time you were applauded off the pitch.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to be fair, the fans have applauded us. I mean, I think there's only a Southport away, really, where they got a little bit on us back. But probably that would deservedly so, because we put in a really miserable day. That was on a bank, Colin. We turned in a terrible performance. So, but I'd say generally all season the fans have been really good to us, and we're new to the league. We're a small club in this league, and we've needed them every step of the way. And luckily, we've managed to put in a great performance for them, and they'll all go on really happy tonight. Just go again Saturday now. I think the results have gone for us tonight as well. I think we've got a 5-point gap on the teams below us, so we'll go again Saturday and we could pretty much be sorted, I think. Yeah, mate.
I was going to say, it's Macclesfield next. It's going to be another tough game. They're mid-table, they've not got too much to play for, but they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you've seen in this league, every team that you play against, they've got quality in the side, and if they haven't got much quality or exceptional players, they're very well organised and well drilled, and tactically they stick to the game plan. So we'll go again Saturday and I think the main thing tonight is we put two performances in the Saturday and the Tuesday, where we've been guilty all year. As we've played well against one team on the Saturday, turned up the Tuesday and we've been below par. There's been no middle ground. But tonight, see you later, Will. We've managed to put two back-to-back performances in, and it's pleasing because now we can set that and try and put the third one in.
Ever professional in the interview there, Danny Lowe, just saying ta-da to Will Hatfield, I think, on the way at the end there. But an absolutely top-class performance again from front to back. Odin Boys we didn't catch an interview with. He was obviously man of the match with his 2 goals. That third, what an absolutely superb strike as well that was.
Yeah, terrific goal. I mean, very similar, to be honest, to the goal he scored at Wrexham as well. And to be fair to Adam Boyce, he hasn't had too many goals this season. I know he would have wanted a lot more, but it was good for him to get to, and that will really boost his confidence ahead of today's game.
Don't forget, you can tweet us at Guiseley Radio. We've already had a few tweets. Chris, just give us a bit of an update on... We're trying to name our mascot today. We posted a picture earlier on, and we think we should start to really give him a name.
Yeah, Ben Scott says he should be called Leo the Lion. I'm starting to think that's... Is that too predictable, perhaps?
Could be like Rory as well, couldn't he? I don't know. I don't think it's I don't think that's a particularly predictable name. I quite like Leo. It works for me.
Well, we'll have a competition in the summer. He also says that he's confident we'll win 2-1 today after Tuesday's result.
Yeah, thanks to Lewis for that, and Ben. So do give us your tweets at Guiseley Radio this afternoon. If keep them clean, and we might even read them out. And really now, I suppose we should turn our attention, because the two sides are in the tunnel, there's a huge guard of honour from some of the Macclesfield junior sides in front of us, just about to greet the two sides. Not a big crowd, I would say, here at the moment. Perhaps some more yet to come in. The Guiseley coach arrived fairly close to the kick-off time, so they've not made their way in yet. We've seen some flags now being put up, and the Lions fans sitting away opposite to us, where we watch this game from the grand old main stand here at Macclesfield. It's a beautiful old stand, and high above the pitch, and surrounded opposite us is a low-seated stand where the Guiseley fans are now just making their way into the ground, and behind that a kind of glass-fronted corporate hospitality area, and then away to our right, open terracing, and to our left a sort of mixture of seating and terracing there. The Lions and Macclesfield now coming out onto the pitch, so just a chance to run through today's teams for Macclesfield. Richie Brannigan, who overturned a red card, or the club overturned his red card that was awarded against Dover in order to allow him to play today. Andy Halls, John McComb, George Pilkington, Paul Turnbull, Chris Holroyd, Jack Sampson, Danny Rowe, David Fitzpatrick, Danny Whitaker, Rhys Dyche, and then on the bench, Neil Byrne, Paul Lewis, Christian Dennis, Tony Diagni and Chris Sutherland. For the Lions, it's Steve Drench, Ryan Toulson, Ben Parker, Danny Lowe, Jake Lawler, Adam Boys, Will Hatfield, Ollie Johnson, Rob Atkinson, Anthony Dudley, Oliver Norburn, and then on the bench, Adam Lockwood, Tom Craddock, Gavin Rothery, Dan Atkinson and Nicky Boschel. So a big game this afternoon for the Lions. They'll be officiated by referee Stephen Ross, and the assistants today are Sarah Garrett and Richard Watson. So as the two sets of players shake hands with the officials and each other as we go through the pre-match rituals, Chris, take a thought on the lineup. Who should be watching for in that Macclesfield town side, and just your thoughts ahead of this game?
Well, for both of us, we both thought Macclesfield were one of the best sides that have come to Nethermore this season, and on that occasion Danny Whitaker and Jack Sampson both had particularly good games. I think Danny Whitaker in particular, he can really just dominate a game really from the centre of midfield. And Rhys Dyche as well, a big target man of a striker who, when we last played against him, he was in the red and white of Kidderminster early on in the season. Again, a very dangerous target man who's fairly prolific at this level.
Some very good players in that side as the just getting everyone into the stand. Crowd building up now. Macclesfield, of course, with very little to play for. Guiseley have it all to play for. Just have a look at some of the other fixtures that are going on today. Which are the ones that we should be watching out for, and which are the ones we're going to keep the results coming through all afternoon on?
Well, there's a relatively split situation in terms of the games that are involving the sides around us. The only one where you've got relegation candidates meeting at the moment is Chester. They're hosting Welling. Boreham Wood travel to Aldershot. Torquay travel to Bromley. SC Halifax have got the mammoth task of overcoming Cheltenham, who of course can win the league today. And then Altrincham travel to Eastleigh, and Kidderminster welcome Barrow. There is potentially a big afternoon in prospect, because if some of those sides pick up the wins that maybe necessarily aren't expected, it will really tighten things up with 2 games to go.
Yeah, it's one of those afternoons where you have two. You need an extra pair of eyes, don't you? 2 to watch the action on the pitch, and 2 to watch the scores around the other games. We'll keep you up to speed with all of them, though. We've got our various bits of IT equipment here plugged into the updates from the other games, and you keep with us from Guiseley Radio. Just tweet us at Guiseley Radio if you wish. I think you've got some more, haven't you, Chris?
Yeah, George McPherson's been in touch. Come on, Guiseley, give us a point on some sort of good result. Dinglebird, she's been in touch. She says, "Hi, I'm here today from Leicester. We better win today," of course, the usual interactor. And James Headley, quietly confident today. A draw's a good result, but 3 points would mean party time after the Torquay game.
The Lions lining up, going to be shooting from right to left, with Macclesfield kicking off. Guiseley playing in all yellow today, and Macclesfield in their home kit of blue with white shorts and blue socks. The Lions on the ball with Dudley at the moment, just getting it to the halfway line. Follow through from Ryan Toulson, sends it into the Macclesfield half, over the head of Adam Boys, all the way through to the goalkeeper, Brannigan. And rolled out to the right-hand side where Holroyd picks up the ball. Chris Holroyd up against Ollie Johnson. Johnson chasing and harrying, hoping to win the ball on the front foot, just like he did on Tuesday night against Wrexham. Ball up in the air now inside the Lions half. Jake Lawler heads on. Johnson heads on, but it goes through to George Pilkington. And Pilkington gives it to Fitzpatrick, who sends it down that left flank, looking to pick out the pass to Jack Sampson. Across is Rob Atkinson to hoof the ball into touch. And it's back with the Macclesfield goalkeeper. Out here to Andy Halls, the right back, steps up towards the halfway line. Looks ahead, he's got 4 to aim for. And he goes long. There's a nod back from Ryan Tilson, who does ever so well to muscle off his man to nod the ball back to Stephen Drench.
Yeah, it was well defended by Ryan Tilson there, battling against Jack Sampson, who isn't exactly a small striker himself.
Physical, I think, is the word, isn't it?
They've got 2 physical strikers. Reece Dyche, as I mentioned earlier. Jack Sampson, to be honest, is bigger than I remember him being.
Throw goes down the right-hand side.
I suppose a positive for Guiseley is that you've got 28 goals Christian Dennis sitting on the Macclesfield bench.
It's a positive as long as he stays there. Ball down the right-hand side now. It's Guiseley press. Anthony Dudley chasing it. He's up against Fitzpatrick. He just can't keep the ball in play. And it rolls out, and it's going to be a Macclesfield throw in left back. As the home crowd just try to urge their side on a little bit, wake them up in the early stages of this game. Parker now wins the ball back for Guiseley on the halfway line. Pokes it down the right flank. Chase on for Adam Boys. Doesn't give it up. And manages to win Guiseley a corner. He slid in on the defender. Claims it took a deflection off the defender last. The linesman on that far side agrees, and it's a Guiseley corner on the right-hand side.
He's done really well there as Adam Boys to win effectively a corner out of nothing. It just looked like it was going to be shielded out of play. He got the challenge in. So he's done very, very well there.
5, 6 yellow shirts in the box. The ball whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, punched away by Brannigan, taken down by Boys. Boys gives it to Hatfield. Hatfield shoots, but it's deflected off. Counter-attack now on for Macclesfield as they come away with the ball, running over the halfway line with Danny Rowe. Danny Rowe is then penalised, and Guiseley get a free kick just on the edge of the centre circle. That'll be disappointing to the Macclesfield fans because they had a good counter-attack on there, but very good news from Guiseley's perspective.
Yeah, they were coming forward at good pace then as well.
Ball won by Oliver Norburn as Guiseley win the ball back. Hatfield into the feet of Adam Boys. Out here to Tilson. Norburn on the halfway line. Guiseley players in advanced positions, but he has to go square to Tilson and then back here to Rob Atkinson. Atkinson sends it long down the left-hand side towards Lowe. It's well watched by the Macclesfield defence. Ollie Johnson wins the ball back as Chris Holroyd chases him, and it goes back to Steve Drench. Drench sends it long up towards Lowe, just over the head of Danny Lowe, and out for a Macclesfield throw in right back position.
Well, absolutely nothing going on in the National League so far.
Tell you another game I was watching out for the results between Darlington and Blythe this afternoon, because they're both going for the title of the Evo Stick Premier to get promotion into the conference, the national rather, North. So obviously if things hadn't gone well for Guiseley, that could have been a game with implications for our opponents next season, and the Darlington game appears to be off. Guiseley now winning the ball in the middle of the pack, but they're robbed, and here comes Reece Dyche onto the edge of the D, takes a shot, held very comfortably by Stephen Drench, but Reece Dyche did well to run in field and then take an effort with his right foot that was straight at Stephen Drench in the end.
Yeah, he got away from I think it was Rob Atkinson, got the shot off, but I'd say he was more toe poking it than anything from outside the box.
Hatfield winning the ball with a robust challenge in midfield. Danny Lowe sends it up towards Adam Boys. It's returned too low though. Now Hatfield just inside the Macclesfield half on the left flank. Wins the ball back. Guiseley go back to the goalkeeper though. Steve Drench then sends it long. Another one of those pinpoint balls up towards Adam Boys from the goalkeeper, but then headed back by Turnbull. Paul Turnbull, today's Macclesfield captain, nodding it back to Richie Brannigan. Still 0-0. 5 minutes gone. And Macclesfield just beginning to press the ball a little forward, up towards the back line there. Good tackle though from Atkinson, heads it up to Ollie Johnson. First run for Ollie Johnson, middle of the park, lays it out to the left-hand side. Hatfield on the overlap. He's got players in the box if he can cross. He has to go back though. He's held up, goes to Lowe. Jake Lawler now into Hatfield. Hatfield's clipped. Advantage. Oh, referee I thought was going to give the advantage. Ollie Johnson picked the ball up, but in the end he's opted to give Guiseley the free kick, and a free kick in a dangerous position too.
Yeah, I think both the referee and Ollie Johnson, they're in two minds as to what to do, because the referee thought about the advantage, but then Ollie Johnson didn't initially go to the ball to collect it to play on. So in the end he's pulled it back, given the free kick. Not a bad area. 23, 24 yards out, slightly to the left of goal.
Norburn to strike it though. This would be a good distance for him to hit this one, probably about 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area, to the left of the D, as you rightly say, Chris. Holding a high line, Macclesfield. Goalkeeper nobody on the posts. Norburn will hit it, hits it over, just tips over the crossbar and away, but it was a good curl on the way he flighted the ball towards the goal. It just was a little too high, and Richie Brannigan, although he was stretching to get across that side of the goal, was never really troubled on that instance.
Yeah, not too bad an effort at all though from Oliver Norburn. I think he just clipped almost the supporting piece of metal that holds the net up at the back. Really decent effort. Just the one goal so far. Gateshead 0, Braintree 1. It's the first goal in the National League this afternoon.
Chris Holroyd on the ball now for Macclesfield. Runs through Danny Lowe and then is clipped by Lowe, and a free kick is given to Macclesfield. It's about level with the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side. A few yards out from the angle of the penalty area. And this is kind of like an opportunity to whip the ball in now, and Macclesfield to get the big men up.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, a really dangerous position to the right of the 18-yard box. If Turnbull can deliver a good ball, there's some big units that go into the penalty area for Macclesfield.
It'll be Turnbull who will deliver. Two-man wall in front of him, but there's 4 blue shirts in and around the penalty spot that are the intended target, surely. Turnbull floats this one in towards his 6-yard box, bounces down off a muddle of heads, and eventually hoisted away up towards Dudley at the other end of the ground, but it's well watched by David Fitzpatrick, and Macclesfield not the ball to the left-hand side, and held up by a gaggle of Guiseley players, and then Adam Boyes tries to rob Whittaker, but Whittaker orchestrates things again, finds Stice. Stice takes a shot that takes a firm deflection off Ben Parker and then rolls through to Stephen Drench. Still 0-0.
It's been a bright start to the game though, actually, from both sides really. Both sides looking to get into the attacking thirds fairly quickly.
Ball forward from Drench, headed up by Hatfield, taken down by Lawler on the halfway line. Guiseley get it up towards Boyes, but he's a long way from goal and back to goal, so he plays it back to Hatfield. On the halfway line, Danny Lowe chips it up towards Ollie Johnson. He doesn't quite get his header right, but it does go back to Lowe, who nods the ball on towards Norburn, who's chasing down the left-hand side. Norburn manages just to dink the ball past his marker, and then it goes into the box with a good deflection from Guiseley's perspective, but then when Norburn tries to curl the ball in towards the back post, it's picked out of the air by Brannigan, and he sets a counter-attack going down the left-hand side. Danny Rowe up against Toulson now. Rowe making great headway, skips past Toulson, crosses into the box towards the back of the goal. Nobody can get onto it. Now Macclesfield on it there with Holroyd. It goes back towards Whittaker. Whittaker battling hard to try and force his way over the D and get a shot away, but Guiseley managed to get bodies in there, and Ollie Johnson comes away with it, lays it out here to the left-hand side. Lowe, quite an open game this so far. Lowe plays it over the top. Boyes, he's broken the offside trap. He just gets blocked by the header there of George Pilkington before he could take it down, and a superb interception from the Macclesfield back line. And now they come away with Stice on the right-hand side, trying to play a ball long towards Danny Whittaker, but he misflights the ball, and then it goes back to the goalkeeper, Stephen Drench. And a big goal, I think, to tell you about in the Vanarama National, Chris, have you?
Aldershot 0, Borehamwood 1. is the second goal of the day, and of course Boreham Wood in their situation, that would be an absolutely massive goal for them. Of course, we travel there next Saturday.
Throw in for Guiseley now, level with the edge of the 6-yard box, knowing that rivals like Boreham Wood are getting ahead. I don't know if Mark will be looking out for the scores as the game progresses, but the Lions now have a chance to push forward. But at the moment, a little concerned because Jake Lawler's gone to ground. He's feeling his right knee, I think.
Yeah, he's looking at the bench as Gavin Roddery comes back from warming up just in case, perhaps.
Jake Lawler's not a player to go to ground, is he? Without there being something of concern. This could be a bit of a blow. Martin Stringfellow out there just feeling his lower calf, seeing if the knee is working. But a bit of early concern here for Mark Bauer. Still scoreless here, 11 minutes gone. But Jake Lawler just needing a little attention at the moment. And
he's been absolutely ever present, hasn't he, Jake Lawler? I can't remember the last time Jake Lawler didn't play, to be honest. I think he's only missed a couple of games at most over the course of the season.
Yeah, and his presence in the middle of the park has been, well, hugely influential. And we're just having a drinks break whilst Jake Lawler gets to his feet. He coming off a little awkwardly. And we'll see whether he feels he can run off whatever injury he's got. Certainly looks to be his right knee that's the cause of the problem. I don't know if he's taken a knock on the knee that will be something he can run off. Meanwhile, guys, he have the throw. They are on the left-hand side here. Norburn up against the defence. Guys who win the throw, though. Norburn rolls it in towards Boys. Boys chest the ball down towards Dudley in the box, but again it's blocked, and in the end Adam Boys is adjudged to have fouled the right back Andy Halls, and it's a free kick to Macclesfield in right back position. Another big goal in the relegation battles. Chris, you can update us on those latest scores.
Yeah, Torquay 1, Bromley 0, Torquay 1. Torquay taking the lead at Bromley, and then Aldershot 1, Boreham Wood 1. Boreham Wood's lead not lasting too long. Elsewhere, Forest Green keeping up the pressure on Cheltenham. They're leading by 1-0 against Woking.
So no score from that game between Cheltenham and Halifax as yet. Here we are with the Lions. Still 0-0 here at Macclesfield. Ball picked up by Chris Holroyd. Now as the home side press, but well intercepted by Ben Parker, much to the disdain of the home fans. Ben Parker comes forward, gives it to Dudley. Dudley in field. Ollie Johnson, little back heel to no one. And now Macclesfield come away with the ball down the right-hand side. There's a bit of a chase on it. It's a tough ball for Holroyd to keep in. He does ever so well. Keeps it in play just in front of his dugout and sends it back to Turnbull. The captain sends it up towards the edge of the penalty area now, and the home side now begin to press as Holroyd crosses into the box. Headed away by Danny Lowe. Picked up, though, by Halls, who exchanges passes before poking it forward. It's chested down by Jake Lawler, who happily seems to have recovered from his earlier knock, and gives it to Oliver Norburn inside the centre circle. Norburn spins on the ball, gives it to Lawler again. Lawler dinks a good ball into Dudley. Back now to Hatfield on the halfway line. Guys here holding on to the ball well here. Played up by Dudley towards Boys. Dudley's adjudged to have been fouled by Halls, and guys who get a free kick. Back level with the centre circle towards the left-hand side of the field as they attack the Macclesfield goal.
I think Hall's still a little bit unfortunate there, to be honest. Didn't seem to be too much in it, but it was some really good passing play from Guiseley, getting the ball down well in these early stages.
Parker now for Guiseley on the halfway line. Plays it into Atkinson, up towards Ollie Johnson. Now into Hatfield. To the right-hand side, Tilson finds Ollie Johnson again. Spins on the ball, level with the centre circle, starts a run in towards Dudley. Dudley's tackled, but Norburn picks up the second phase. Hits one from distance, but it's not really got the pace or the direction that's going to trouble Richie Brannigan. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. As I say, didn't quite have the accuracy, but signal of intent from Ollie Norburn. He's had the free kick and that one from distance now. Fairly sure he'll be hoping his next one's on target for the top corner.
Guiseley seeking to perhaps secure their Vanarama national status this afternoon. Something we couldn't have imagined a couple of weeks ago, but Tuesday night's results in our favour meant that is a possibility. But Macclesfield have other thoughts at the moment. They play the ball down the left-hand side. Steisch is chasing after it. He's got Whittaker central and Holroyd. It goes back to Whittaker, who lays the ball to the left flank. And it's not controlled at all well by Fitzpatrick, and it goes out for a Guiseley throw.
That's met by a few comedy chants from the Guiseley fans who are on that far side.
Another good following again from the Lions.
Gateshead 1, Braintree 1 is the latest score.
Ball currently with Atkinson, just outside his penalty area. He sends it long, but it's taken down very comfortably. But Dudley robs Halls on the left-hand side. Dudley just can't keep the ball under control, though. It sort of span away from his foot, but Boys closes down ever so well. And Guiseley pressing up from the front now, causing Macclesfield some problems here. Free kick then given for the challenge of Oliver Norburn. I think it was on Paul Turnbull. And a free kick to Macclesfield in right-back position.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by that, if I'm completely honest, because he knocked the ball back in field, spun, and then threw himself down like he'd been shot. Not convinced with that one at all, if I'm completely honest. Elsewhere, Tranmere 0, Wrexham 1.
Wrexham bouncing back from that mauling by the Lions on Tuesday night. There's not been too many happy occasions at Nethermore. The previous home league victory was the 2-0 win at Bromley, as they haven't won away since the victory against Woking in February. Parker now on the ball for the Lions, tries to pick out Adam Boys on the left flank, just over him and out for a Macclesfield throw. Still scoreless here, if you're just joining us. 18 minutes gone, Macclesfield 0, Guiseley 0. Macclesfield with a throw, flicked on by Sampson, nodded on again by Steisch, just trying to thread the ball through to Holroyd, but it's good interception from Ben Parker. Out here to Toulson. Toulson sends it long down the right flank, looking to pick out Adam Boys, but headed away from Boys, and Macclesfield recover possession on the halfway line. They chip it forward. Now it's intercepted by Ben Parker, much to the frustration again of the home fans. Jack Sampson never really getting on the end of that one. Goes back to Drench, who goes up towards Johnson. Johnson flicks on to send it towards Boys, but it's defended well by Macclesfield. Sent back to the goalkeeper. Adam Boys looks hungry today, chasing that ball right back to the goalkeeper there. His work rate has to be ever so high in the next few games, and tremendous work rate on Tuesday night. Boys again in the thick of it before McComb sends it back to the goalkeeper, Brannigan. He flicks it up in the air, and it's awkward for Turnbull to deal with, but he does do. And it's sent forward now into the centre circle. And Macclesfield beginning to pass the ball about a bit and play it down the right-hand side. It's over low. It takes a flick off him, but Ben Parker's across to recover the situation. Plays it against Steisch and earns Guiseley a throw in left-back position.
Yeah, he's done well there. Has Ben Parker. He read that Danilo wasn't going to be able to clear that effectively, so he was there to cover. Elsewhere, a couple more goals. Braintree, they've got themselves back into the lead. 2-1, they lead against Gateshead, and Grimsby 1-up against Dover at the Crabble. Elsewhere, Chester 1, Welling 0. What a massive goal that could be, Colin.
Yep, that's not one of the results going our way at the moment. Chester winning. Whittaker now on the ball for Macclesfield. Big shout for handball a few moments earlier against Danny Lowe, but nothing given. Turnbull into the feet of Pilkington. George Pilkington over the halfway line, looks ahead of him, goes square. Turnbull, now Guiseley encamped in their own half. Every yellow shirt in the Lions half at the moment. Halls central again. Good ball into Danny Rowe, who plays a beautiful ball in, and it's clear and a chance for Macclesfield to take the lead when Jack Sampson was through on goal, but Stephen Drench got enough of a touch on his feet to send the ball round the upright and behind for Macclesfield's first corner, but really it should be their first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good ball through that found Jack Sampson, who got beyond the back line far too easily. But then Stephen Drench comes to the rescue with a really good save with his legs.
Corner's taken, short here to Halls, on the edge of the penalty area now. Halls drills it in, takes a wicked deflection, but actually takes the sting out of the shot as well, or the cross, and it rolls through to Stephen Drench. And there's good appreciation from the travelling fans there of Drench's interception there. It was a real certain goal for Macclesfield, but a outstretched foot takes the ball away. But Macclesfield looking to thread a ball through once again, this time intercepted by Atkinson. Picked up now by Hatfield, who chips the ball forward down the left flank. Dudley eventually gets it after the deflection. Hatfield keeps the ball ticking over. Jake Lawler, reverse pass into Adam Boys, but he's two around him, Adam Boys. Working hard, tries to win the ball, and then is unfortunate because his opposite number, Chris Holroyd, goes to ground. And it's a free kick to the home side. Yeah,
really unfortunate again there. He was just harrying, and he only had eyes for the ball, and anything that got in his way really was going to get caught. Unfortunately, it concedes the free kick.
Still 0-0. 22 minutes gone. Ball forward as Macclesfield look to press, but Jake Lawler intercepts. It's on the left-hand side now with Danny Lowe, played up towards the halfway line where Adam Boys plows a bit of a lone furrow, heads the ball up in the air. Untidy moment in the game that no player really can control until Will Hatfield steps across it, picks the ball up inside the centre circle, runs down the right-hand side, gives it to Tilson. Tilson's got a challenge in Danny Rowe, who's right up against him. Ollie Johnson takes over though. Can we see some of those silky Ollie Johnson skills now? He actually has to go back to Tilson. Tilson will opt to cross into the box over Hatfield. Scooped away, rather, unconventionally, and out for a Guiseley throw midway through the Macclesfield half on the left-hand side. Still 0-0. But an important goal again in the Vanarama National in the game between the potential champions and Halifax, which Chris is going to bring you.
Yeah, Cheltenham, unsurprisingly, given what's at stake, have taken the lead 1-0. Cheltenham leading against FC Halifax Town.
23 minutes gone here, guys. He's still scoreless. Danny Lowe manages to, he was trying to lob the ball away, managed to play it against his own chest and out for a Macclesfield throw. Causes a chuckle amongst the home fans. And now it's a throw in that Halls will take. It's about level with the centre circle inside the Lions half. It's flicked on well by Holroyd towards Steisch, but Steisch can't win the ball. And then Ben Parker's bundled over, but nothing given. Dudley takes down Chris Holroyd, who picked up the ball. But you do wonder quite whether Jack Sampson's challenge on Ben Parker should have been penalised. But I suspect that Anthony Dudley might be in a spot of bother here with the referee now. And it's a free kick nonetheless as well. It's a good few yards from the edge of the D and in a dangerous position, Chris.
Yeah, well, I think Ben Parker was just trying to make the point to the referee that, as I say, he was completely bundled off the ball. And then the next person that Holroyd ran into was Dudley. You did clip him on the ankles, nothing more than a free kick, but I say good position. Slightly to the right-hand side of the D. 25 yards out, but a really good position to get a shot on goal.
Danny Whitaker and Paul Turnbull, the two Macclesfield players standing over the ball. It's about level with where the D intersects with the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side as Macclesfield attack the Guiseley goal. There's a four-man wall in there. Whitaker peels off, but the referee stops play because there's something going off between Danny Lowe and a opposite number, and the referee is just going to have a word and calm the two sets of players down. Good officiating there from Stephen Ross, just keeping an eye on the flash points, but Lowe still arguing with the Macclesfield man on that far side. Not quite sure who it is. Is it Sampson he's disagreeing with?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Free kick will be taken now. Whittaker peels off. Turnbull hits it. Takes a deflection. It's gone behind. It'll be a Macclesfield corner. But in that deflection, just for a second, it looked like it might just creep in inside the upright. But in the end, it just bounced well away from goal.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad free kick.
Corner on this right-hand side. Whipped in towards the 6-yard box. Headed away well by Danny Lowe. But on the edge of the area is Whittaker. He goes for the spectacular, and in the end, hoofs the ball way out of the ground and onto the street behind the terracing to our right.
Yeah, somewhere in the small car park behind the terracing there. Thankfully, it's not near my car, so I don't need to call my insurance company.
And that provides some relief for the Lions, who are just beginning to feel a bit of the squeeze from those two set pieces. A corner and a free kick. The Lions now have the chance of the goal kick just to perhaps start something of their own. Flicked up towards Jake Lawler. Headed on. Adam Boyes is penalised again. That looks a little bit soft, to be honest, against John McComb. The free kick is given. Richie Brannigan, well out of his goal, will send this one long again. Just the flow of the game with Macclesfield a little bit more now. Flick on from Ben Parker. Danny Lowe stretches to clear. Picked up again by the home side as McComb sends it back towards the goal. There's no outlet now for Guiseley. Boyes tries to close down, but Pilkington does well. Spreads the ball out to the left-hand side really well. Danny Rowe plays it in towards Whittaker, who just checked his move at the wrong time, and Oliver Norburn steps across and takes the ball away for Guiseley. Picked up again, though, by McComb, and all the way back to the goalkeeper, Brannigan. Guiseley again almost set for defensive duties from the moment the goalkeeper rolls the ball out, and it's sent down the right-hand side, this time for Holroyd, who collects on the edge of the area, spins on the ball, goes away from goal. He's up against Danny Lowe now. Danny Lowe holds to his task well, but Holroyd gets it to Halls. And then infield now as Macclesfield try to pass their way through the Guiseley defence. Good interception from Danny Lowe. He's now being closed down with three players around him. Gets the ball out of under his feet and towards Dudley, but Dudley can't keep it in play. But it takes a deflection nonetheless off a Macclesfield player. And it's a Guiseley throw in left-back position. Danny Lowe did very well there, actually, Danny Lowe, because he was under tremendous pressure, wasn't he, at that moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say one of the things that I remember Macclesfield for very vividly from that wet Tuesday night in October was their pressing and their not giving anybody in a Guiseley shirt any time at all. And as we saw there, Danny Lowe in that position, and within a second or two, he had three blue shirts around him, which makes it very, very difficult for Guiseley to keep possession and to be able to try and play the way they can.
Ben Parker heads the ball up in the air. Ollie Johnson chases, nobody gets onto it. Good header comes in from Danny Lowe, taken down by Dudley. Big shout of handball against Dudley, but he was the opposite side of the referee. And the referee, nor the assistant on this near side, spotted any infringement. Nonetheless, Dudley couldn't do anything with it, and it's out for a Macclesfield throw. And the Silkmen get the ball up towards the halfway line. Good tackle comes in from Rob Atkinson, under pressure. Guiseley clear, but again, only as far as a blue shirt. And this time, Halls, pressed by Dudley, is forced to hit touch. Still 0-0 here.
Yeah, it's just that, put that straight out of play on this near side. As Danny Bosch comes to the edge of the technical area to bark out some orders, some instructions.
Throw up to Dudley, who does ever so well. He plays it in towards Ollie Johnson, but he's stretching to get the ball and can't control. And now Macclesfield on the counter-attack. Play the ball up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Sort of lost a lot of its shape this game. For a spell it was very open. And now it is a little scrappy. Macclesfield, I think, just marginally enjoying the better of the opportunities. Halls now on the right-hand side. Holroyd can't keep it in play. Guiseley throw in left-back position.
As you say, it has got, after a really open first 10, 15 minutes or so, it has swung into Macclesfield, into their favour. They're the ones having most of the possession, really, and creating the better opportunities.
Danny Lowe does well. He plays the ball into Ryan Toulson up towards Ollie Johnson. Johnson does appear to handle the ball on that occasion, and ironic cheers abound around the ground because of the belief that Anthony Dudley was not picked out. And now Macclesfield run into the box as they come forward once again. A little chip towards the back post, headed in towards Sampson. Great save from Stephen Drench. Picks the ball out from just under the crossbar and palms it over. There'll be another Macclesfield corner, but again Stephen Drench has been called on to serve the Lions, and he's proven himself more than a match for the two opportunities that Sampson has had.
That's a wonderful save from Stephen Drench. Really decent header from Sampson, back across goal. He really made Stephen Drench work for that. He didn't have to tip it over.
Corner from this left-hand side, whipped into the 6-yard box. Jake Lawler gets the header clear. Danny Rowe will try and recover the ball for the home side. They still have possession, the second phase with Macclesfield. Holroyd floats the ball out to the left-hand side, trying to find Whittaker on that left flank. Whittaker does eventually get it, but gets the ball caught up inside his feet. And Adam Boyes does enough to poke the ball away. But look how deep Guiseley are. We are so deep, we just can't find our way out.
I was going to say, that's the problem in that situation. Adam Boyes is having to come back that deep to help out defending.
Bit of a counter-attack on might be here with Norburn coming over the halfway line. Threads the ball through to Ollie Johnson. Takes it past one, but there was a good tackle from Halls just in time. And Macclesfield will hoof the ball away from a left-back position. Atkinson with the interception. And then Ben Parker steps up, takes control, gives it to Norburn. Oh, Norburn plays it against Whittaker. Actually sort of deflects it off him like a five-a-side wall and gets the ball back. And then gives it to Toulson. And the ball goes out, a tackle that results in Guiseley getting a throw. Big goal elsewhere in the National.
Yeah, absolutely. Another massive goal. And it's a great one if you're a Guiseley fan. Not so much if you're a Shaman. Cheltenham leading by 2-0 at Warden Road after 34 minutes.
Well, it could be Cheltenham back in the Football League tonight. And another headache for Jim Harvey's Halifax.
Yeah, for Cheltenham, if they win and Forest Green win, it'll be 6 points clear with 2 games to go. So it's as good as there, but technically it's not. They'll be gutted about that. Of course, Forest Green leading currently at home 1-0 against Woking.
Again, still scrappy as we just give you those scores. The ball bouncing down to the goalkeeper, up to the halfway line. Nobody getting it under control. Macclesfield now.
And it's now pouring down.
Yeah.
We've gone from one extreme to the other. Really good sunshine only a few minutes ago.
To rain.
To absolutely pouring down. The British springtime.
Hall's on the ball. Back into Sampson, who's had the 2 best chances of the game. Denied by Stephen Drench on both occasions. Crossfield ball from Turnbull. Finds Danny Rowe, who plays the ball up towards the head of Sampson. But it's intercepted by Toulson, and Guiseley under pressure. Eventually get the ball away. Johnson takes the ball back to Oliver Norburn. But Guiseley playing all of this in their own half. Doing well though, passing the ball up to the halfway line here, where Danny Lowe has made a little bit of space on the left-hand side. Now to Dudley. Dudley picks the ball up. He has to go back to Lowe. Lowe can look ahead of him. Infield now to Boyes. Boyes' first touch a little heavy. Recovers well though. Jake Lawler now picks it up, plays it into the feet of Dudley. Boyes takes a shot from the edge of the D. Rolls straight into the hands of Richie Brannigan, but better from Guiseley. A decent passing move, just couldn't be rewarded with a better finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good move from Guiseley. They worked the ball forward well, got to the edge of the D, and Adam Boyes, he went for the snapshot on the first time.
Danny Rowe now gets the ball into the box for Macclesfield, this time blocked at the near post by Rob Atkinson. And Guiseley up to the halfway line there. Sorry to have to cut across you there, Chris, for a moment. Gives it to Ollie Johnson. It's just one of those games, isn't it, where the game breaks very quickly one way and then the other. And now Whittaker and Toulson having a right old to-do off the ball. Toulson pulling at Whittaker to keep him away from the ball.
They both seem to forget that they'd left the ball behind.
They were about 2 or 3 feet away from it, weren't they?
Yeah, they were certainly more interested in the end of tussling with each other.
It was much ado about nothing. Bit comic. Steisch now on the ball for Macclesfield.
We certainly seem to have gone back to that end-to-end openness. So we had that spell of scrappiness where Macclesfield were the better side. Guiseley on the last couple of occasions have been able to work something out from the back though when they've had to defend.
Ball forward now from Macomb up towards the right flank, taken down by Steisch. Tackle comes in from Ben Parker, and it's a Macclesfield throw about level with the penalty area as they attack on the right hand side. Halls comes forward, rolls it back here to Turnbull, chests it down, plays it into Holroyd, who goes to ground, and Jake Lawler is penalised, but that looks ever so soft, that, and a free kick to Macclesfield. But that's a very soft free kick that referee Stephen Ross has opted to give.
He didn't need any invitations to there, Chris Holroyd, about going down. As soon as he saw Jake Lawler coming at him in the corner of his eye, knew there was going to be contact. He knew that as soon as there was, he'd be down.
So it's a free kick. It's whipped in towards the back post. Referee sees a free kick, and for some reason a yellow card is coming out, and a yellow card is shown to Turnbull. Explain that one to me, Chris.
I think the crowd might be doing a good job of that, because I'm completely perplexed by that. I think the only thing I can think that was for is that the referee, I don't know, he'd blown his whistle, hadn't he?
I think he probably told him, wait till I blow the whistle. Free kick's retaken. This time Turnbull spins the ball out of play. I can only assume he said, wait till I blow the whistle, and then he opted to take it early. But I can't imagine I don't think I've ever seen somebody given a yellow card for taking a free kick before.
That was absolutely bizarre.
On a purely technical point, I'd love to know what goes into the report on that occasion. But, well, that's the first yellow card of the day to Macclesfield captain Turnbull. Taking a free kick too soon. Stephen Drench, I presume he must have said something actually. Cleared by Parker, flicked on by Jake Lawler. Now Toulson's got some space on the right hand side, over the halfway line. Chips the ball up towards the back post. Dudley's going chasing for it, wins the header, knocks it into Boys, back to goal. Boys tries to flick it back into the path of Dudley, but it takes a deflection and it's hoisted away by Macclesfield. Well watched by Ben Parker, flicks it into the path of Danny Lowe, who was under pressure from Sampson. Rob Atkinson clears, but the ball picked up again by Macclesfield. Toulson intercepts and hoofs it down the right hand side. Boys goes chasing. Goalkeeper claims right at the angle of the penalty area on the left hand side. 7 minutes to go, and it's still Macclesfield 0, Guiseley 0. Torrential rain driving down on this spring afternoon.
I was just thinking there might even be a little bit of sleet in that. We were forecast a bit of snow in this area, weren't we?
Yeah, that's a good call, Chris. The ball out from Norburn towards Dudley is intercepted very easily. I think Norburn's saying, run to the ball, don't wait for it to come to you. To Dudley. Is he trying to orchestrate things in the middle of the park? Well, Hatfield returns it to Atkinson. Whittaker gets a bit of a run on to try and close down Drench. Drench's clearance flicked up, now taken down here by Dudley, but he couldn't control the ball. It sort of span away from him as he got a foot on it, and then it's intercepted. Now for a Guiseley throw, about level with the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side.
Yeah, good chance for Ryan Toulson to either opt for the long throw or try and work it short.
Throw is taken short in the end. Toulson gives it to Jake Lawler. Whittaker intercepts another throw to Guiseley. Still 0-0, and we've got 5 minutes left of this first half. First half in which Stephen Drench has pulled off 2 great saves to keep the Lions on level terms. As yet, we haven't really had an opportunity to describe of our own. Parker into Lowe. Inside the Macclesfield half, but no forward momentum from Guiseley. Goes square here to Atkinson. Edge of centre circle inside his own half. Raking ball towards Lowe. Lowe heads it back in field. Headed away. Jake Lawler picks up the second phase. Goes back to Ben Parker. Sampson ever so quickly at him. Back to Drench. And he plays it forward up towards Boys. Doesn't win the header. The clearance though only as far as Danny Lowe on the left hand side. Lowe looks for options. Infield to Jake Lawler. Jake Lawler square to Hatfield. Hatfield goes right down to the right hand side. Toulson has to be readjusts his balance to win the ball and give it to Norburn. Good play from Norburn, finds Will Hatfield. Now Tilson on the right-hand side, up against Danny Rowe. His cross is poor, and guys, he now have to defend as Whittaker runs away with the ball. Whittaker's taken down by Hatfield, but the referee waves the advantage as Holroyd takes the ball forward for Macclesfield. Square to Sampson, and then back to Turnbull, and now Whittaker inside the Lions half now. Whittaker floats the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Good interception from Ben Parker. And it's won here by Danny Lowe, who sends it down the left-hand side, and there's a chase on for Ellen Boys. Brannigan's out. Brannigan clears. And Danny Lowe tries to return the ball. I think he was at the mind he might just volley it back towards the goal because the goalkeeper was so far out. In the end, it sort of went only a few feet ahead of him. Danny Lowe wins the ball back under pressure from Sampson. Ben Parker and Anthony Dudley combine. And Parker just nutmegs Sampson. Gives it to Danny Lowe. And guys, you need to spread the play a little bit when they get closed down. Now they're doing so. Norburn, good reverse pass in here to Ollie Johnson on the edge of the 18-yard box. He's muscled off the ball, though, by Pilkington, but does earn Guiseley a corner on that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's done really well there as Ollie Johnson. He was muscling in, so with Pilkington, looking to try and turn him and then get down towards the goal. But Pilkington stays strong. Got a phone to it behind for a corner.
Corner to come in from this right-hand side. 5 yellow shirts to aim for. 2 inside the 6-yard box, 3 around the penalty spot. It goes up towards Atkinson, who doesn't win it, and now the counter-attack could be on for Macclesfield as they move forward very swiftly. Ball over the top. It's a good one. Ollie Johnson can't chase and catch up with Danny Rowe, who lobs the ball towards the goal. He hit the ball above Stephen Drench, and it dipped, but it didn't go the right side of the crossbar from a Macclesfield perspective, and it went behind for a goal kick. But it looked all the world as though Danny Rowe had done a lot to beat Stephen Drench and hit the back of the net, but in the end it's behind, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, slightly wide of that left-hand upright as we look at that goal. It was a really good ball into Danny Rowe, and he got away from the defenders a little bit too easily again, but he was running at pace, got beyond Atkinson and Parker. It almost looked as if Drench had effectively given up because, to be honest, there wasn't a great deal he could do. He was scampering back towards his line.
Well, a huge header back into Stephen Drench from the goal kick. Well, that's 3 times actually they've got goal side of the back line, and 3 times twice Stephen Drench has pulled off a tremendous save. You wouldn't have been able to do anything about Danny Rowe's effort there. But, he didn't hit the right side of the upright from Macclesfield's view. The Lions now again have to set themselves for defensive duties. Danny Whittaker sends the ball over the top, but this time it runs through to Stephen Drench. 2 minutes to go before the break. Still 0-0.
No change in any scorelines elsewhere in the National League at the moment. There's been a sending off, however, in the game at Gateshead. They're down to 10 men against Braintree and trailing. And I'd say that Southport take the lead against Lincoln City. They're leading by a goal to 0.
Not really much consequence or hesitation in the Guiseley defence for a moment there. Will Hatfield goes down under the challenge from Rhys Dyche. I think he feels he's just been knocked in the face. He's certainly feeling his nose. I don't think there was any foul in it. Rhys Dyche saw the opportunity to rob the loose ball, but he collided with Hatfield. The ball's out in play, and Hatfield's just been seen to by the referee.
Yeah, it was just the coming together more than anything as we get into the final minute or so.
It's not a classic, is it, this one?
It's had its spells, hasn't it? I mean, as I say, that first 10-15 minutes, if it carried on at that pace, we could have been in for a right goal fest at this stage. It was really open. Then it went through that spell of scrappiness.
Ball over the top. Ben Parker clears for Guiseley. Macclesfield again in possession. We're about to see how many minutes are going to be added on. I think there might be 2 going up on the board there. We had a long spell when Jake Lawler was injured. He's happily okay now. Halls with the throw, headed away by Danny Lowe. And Halls lets the ball go right underneath his foot. In summary of the quality of the afternoon so far. And it rolls out.
I think that's a little harsh. It's not been a great game, but it's been a downside better than Southport, first and foremost.
It is 2 minutes to add on. So as we hit the 45, just 2 more minutes to go. Guisey now with Danny Lowe up towards Boys. And Dudley surely fouled. He is fouled by Halls. And there will be a yellow card for Andy Halls. Referee, possibly yellow card or possibly a final warning conversation, whatever they have.
Yeah, I think he thought about the booking, didn't he? But doesn't appear that he is going to give it to Andy Halls.
Got my glove off, ready to take a note of it. Put that back on. It's that sort of afternoon, bitterly cold.
Yeah, I'd love to do that for the second half, but won't be able to keep up to date with Twitter or the scorelines or anything.
Free kick now for Guisey. It's on the left-hand side. It's a good opportunity here for Oliver Norburn to swirl this one in. We've got plenty of shirts on the end of the box, and Norburn floats this one in. It goes above Ollie Johnson, and it's plucked out of the air in the end by Brannigan. It probably didn't have the pace on it to really danger the goal, but Macclesfield immediately set themselves forward. There's a chance for Holroyd on the right-hand side to craft open some space, but Fitzpatrick in the end opts to go down the left. Then it's crossed backwards to Halls. When he conceded the free kick a couple of minutes ago, he plays it up towards Sampson. Back here to Holroyd. His intended target was nowhere near where he played the ball. Guisey can clear. It goes all the way back to Pilkington. Pilkington goes back to the goalkeeper Brannigan. Brannigan plays it down into the left flank. Picked up now by Turnbull, and the referee thinks, I think I'll go for a cup of tea. He blows the whistle exactly on the added 2. Half time goes, and not much to report in the first half. A couple of great chances though for Macclesfield, brilliantly saved by Stephen Drench. Other than that, an awful lot to say from Guiseley's perspective. It's Macclesfield 0, Guisey 0.
Yeah, as to say, it's not been a classic, but we've seen a lot worse from Guiseley this season. There's been a couple of good spells of play for Guiseley where they've really passed and moved the ball very, very well, but it's just been that final third that's been lacking. So, you know, there's at this situation, at this stage at half-time, there is still cause to be optimistic, I think, and we can still go on and look at this with a bit of optimism. If we can get that chance and take that chance, I fancy us to be able to get something here. We just need to test the goalkeeper, Richie Brannigan, a lot more than we have in that first half.
Okay, so let's go through the half-time scores then, Chris. Do you want to give us an update on all the games in the Vanarama National North and get the half-time results?
Absolutely. Well, at half-time in the National League, Aldershot 1, Boreham Wood 1, Bromley 0, Torquay United 1, Cheltenham 2, Halifax 0, Chester 1, Welling 0, Dover 0, Grimsby 1, Eastleigh 0, Altrincham 0, Forest Green 1, Woking 0, Gateshead 1, Braintree 2, but the home side there have been reduced to 10 men. Kidderminster 0, Barrow 0, Macclesfield 0, Guiseley 0, Southport 1, Lincoln City 1, a late equaliser at the end of the first half of the Imps there, and Tranmere 0, Wrexham 1. In the National League North, it could have been known as Brackley 1, Chorley 0, Bradford Park Avenue 3, Worcester City 1, Worcester down to 10 men, Curzon Ashton 0, Gloucester 0, Gainsborough 1, Lowestoft 0, Harrogate 0, Boston United 0, North Ferriby 0, Telford 0, Solihull Moors 0, Hensford 1. It's a bit of an upturn in fortunes for Hensford, bearing in mind they're against the confirmed league champions. Stockport 1, Corby 0, Tamworth 1, Fylde 0, and FC United of Manchester 0, Stalybridge 0.
So let's look at the table then, as it stands.
Oh, see, Dave wouldn't dare do this on Tuesday night.
Oh, you've got to look at it. We've got to give the full set of permutations out to our listener. And, as it stands, then, just talk us through that then, Chris.
Well, as things stand, we stay as we are, basically 5 points above the bottom four. From the bottom up, Welling bottom on 35 points, Kidderminster on 36, Altrincham on 42, Boreham Wood on 42, then Halifax just outside on 43, us on 47, Chester on 48, and Torquay in 17th on 50 points. I think if you'd have said to anybody at Torquay, as little as 6-7 weeks ago, they would not have seen that coming to be 17th with 2 games to go.
Yeah, they'd be safe, wouldn't they, at the end of tonight? 8 points clear of Boreham Wood. So if it stayed as it is now, then we would have... we'd need to get a result against Boreham Wood at least, and if we did that would keep us up, wouldn't it? Because no, if we beat Boreham Wood, obviously it would keep us up. If we got a draw against Boreham Wood, the likelihood is that would be enough to keep us up above Altrincham in all circumstances, and possibly Halifax. And it is still quite complicated if it does stay as it is. So it's not very clear yet, is it?
There's very little, is there, to be clear. And I say, if we can go out in that second half and look to get something, if we at least take a point, I think we can be relatively pleased. Obviously, that will depend on the second halves elsewhere. If we can get all 3, I think we'll be absolutely ecstatic, to be honest. And it will be 3 massive points to take back from Cheshire.
It certainly would. Well, we're clinging on to our Vanarama National place at the moment, but there's still a lot of football to go. One of the big decisions, though, that's happened this season was the fact that we managed to get through the ground grading and achieve our Grade A status. And Tom Feeney spoke to Adi Towers to find out what he thought about the outcome of that result.
Right, well, Adi, first of all, I suppose we've got to look at the fantastic news. I know it happened a week ago, but I know a lot of hard work was put in by a lot of people. Guiseley's Nevermore Park getting the ground grading required to stay in the National League. Just how big a boost is this for the club?
Well, I think it's a massive boost, but it was also a massive cliff edge. Because the difficulties around initially planning, then difficulties around, the difficulties we had with the tree protection and all that, it was so squeezed into a very tight period that I have to say that hadn't it been for an awful lot of, sort of almost beyond belief hard work from people, we wouldn't have got there. So I think there was a real risk that we would have potentially found ourselves in a position where we effectively go down off the pitch, which would have been a disaster. So it's a tribute to an awful lot of very hard work from obviously a lot of paid contractors and also from an awful lot of volunteers. So tremendous achievement actually, given the stupid short time scale that we had.
I know that I was at the game against Chester on the Monday and the appeal was on the Wednesday when they had a look round, and I know even then a lot of hard work was happening, so it did go down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, literally to within the hour. When you consider that in the space of no more than 5 or 6 weeks, we've had to put additional toilet facilities in the dressing room to meet that particular requirement. We've had to build a new turnstile block. We've had to put emergency lighting all the way around the ground. There's been 3 terraces built. There's 200 metres of additional crust barriers and steps put in. New emergency gates, new perimeter fencing, new workman's compound. The list just goes on and on. And so given there were probably half a dozen sets of contractors all working in conjunction with each other, as well as renewing all the mains, water, power, etc., it's just quite remarkable, if I'm honest.
And obviously, that's the whole thing, isn't it? It must give the squad a boost, knowing that they've got a lot to play for, and there certainly is a lot to play for the upcoming games.
Yeah, and I think the other side of it is, we haven't finished either. Although we've done what we had to do to get through the grading, we will continue. As an example, we're building a new catering block at the what effectively is the away end, where the new turnstile block. We'll continue to enhance other areas of the ground. The supporters club have got the scoreboard appeal. We are looking to continue to enhance the facility throughout the summer. So, I think certainly by the time we get to the pre-season friendlies and whatever, we'll have a facility which actually is almost unrecognisable.
And obviously there's been some more news which happened this week, and it really is a fitting tribute to Craig Shearston that the Guiseley Supporters Club Player of the Season award will now be named after him, a fan who passed away, obviously someone who did so much for the club.
No, I think everybody who knew Craig, lovely lad, very clever lad, loved his football club, loved his family, man with massive number of interests in terms of everything he did, just an enthusiast. And I think his very early death came as he was desperately ill, but it came as a real shock to us all that what happened. I think his funeral was one of the most sort of meaningful and well-attended things I've ever been to. And I think, what the supporters have done is, I mean, frankly, if the supporters club hadn't done something, I think the club would have done, because Craig was a friend to many people, including myself.
And I know whenever I spoke to him, he had so much passion for Guiseley, didn't he? And he always made sure that if a person with a dog came, that the dog got a free sausage roll, he'd pay for that. I mean, it's the little things he did. He was just such a great guy.
He was an absolute, I know people overuse the term one of nature's gentlemen, but what was also great about Craig, he wasn't just that he was a gentleman and he was passionate about Guiseley, but he was also a wonderfully funny guy, and he was just a joy to be around. So, he was, and he also was, because he was clever. He had a sort of a razor-like wit, and he could do sarcasm as an art form. So no, I mean, massively missed by all of us, and I'm delighted that the supporters could have done what they've done.
And obviously it'd be a fitting tribute as well if we can now stay up and ensure that we're in the National League next season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew pre-season it'd be a massive challenge. I mean, the analogy, and I might have said this to you, but the analogy for me is that I've been several places this season. As you know, I'm on the pitch, helping out with setting up the warm-up and whatever. And you think, hang on, I've been here with Spurs. And I think people sometimes, and even when you walk around Guiseley, I think people don't realise just exactly where we've come from. When I joined, we were probably 3 or 4 games away from getting relegated to Northern Counties East. So that sort of, that past a decade now, the amount of progress has just been astonishing. So I think, we came up knowing it'd be hard, and it is. It's just been a tremendous challenge. But in fairness, I think anybody who's watched us this season, there's only been a couple of occasions when you've felt we've been outclassed. Most games you've been in the game. I mean, I think the issue is we've probably drawn too many.
And I mean, obviously, you talk about the journey that Guiseley have gone through, and you look at the teams that Guiseley have faced this season, the likes of Grimsby Town, the likes of Tranmere Rovers, and obviously on Saturday, another team with a lot of Football League heritage in Cheltenham Town as well.
Yeah, I think they performed a masterstroke down there when they went down and got Gary Johnston in, because he's very good at very particular style of play, very, very powerful, organised teams, very direct. And you don't go on the unbeaten run they're on at the moment and be odds-on favourites to win the championship without being very good. So no, it'll be a massive challenge on Saturday.
And just finally, Adi, then, I mean, I'm trying to work it out myself, but just how many points do you think Guiseley will need to ensure they stay up?
I'm not doing that. I mean, we've obviously Mark and Bosch and Martin and myself, and indeed the board. We've talked about the sort of numbers we thought we would need, but as has been demonstrated this last few weeks, you'll suddenly find a team, example Chester, who've dropped into trouble. You've teams like Altrincham, who, if I'm honest, 2 months back I thought would get out of it. Halifax and Torquay are doing the converse. So I think all you can do is just look after your own results. Clearly, sort of the Macclesfield, Boreham Wood, Wrexham, all the games are all massive. But it's a matter of, you don't want to say 2 because it might be 3. Yeah, what is it in terms of wins? So we just do every game as though it's a cup final and go out and do our best.
Tom Feeney with Stephen Drench after the 3-1 win for Guiseley over Wrexham. Stephen, first of all, just how good a performance was that?
Probably one of our better ones of the season, to be honest. I think first half, everything we seemed to hit flying the back of the net, which was a nice change. And then second half, obviously Wrexham came out, they had nothing to lose, and we defended really well. Obviously a bit disappointing to concede from a corner. But I mean, the amount of pressure they had, they were always going to get them sort of like little half chances. So we saw it out on the end, and it's a massive result for us.
I was going to say, when you look at the performance, beating a team that were trying to get into the playoffs, I mean, it's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've said over the last couple of weeks, we played Tranmere here, we played Grimsby recently, we played Eastleigh away, and we performed really well, even Saturday. Obviously, for the first 80 minutes, we performed really well. But we haven't probably got the points that we probably deserve to get. But obviously tonight, first half, we took the game to him a bit more positive and said let's go and have a go at him rather than letting them dictate the play. We need to we need to obviously get a result taking us into the weekend. So it's a good performance by everyone.
And I mean, being in goal, it must be a great feeling to know that you've got a 3-0 head start.
It is. It's a few of the fans are giving me a bit of stick behind the goal, saying, "Oh, there you go, it's a nice easy start." I said, "Yeah, see how long it lasts." But yeah, it's it does take the pressure off the defence a little bit when we get a couple of goals in front. But at the same time, it's the old adage: 2-0 is always a dodgy scoreline, because if they score, they get the momentum up. But at 3-0, you think, well, we're halfway there. But we said at half time, obviously there's still 45 minutes to go. The amount of times we've been in situations where we've been 2 or 3-0 down and thrown caution to the wind, and we got something out of it. So it was important that we saw the first 15-20 minutes out and then carried on from there.
And for yourself, I mean, there was a spell where you weren't in the team. Just how good is it to be back playing?
It is good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did miss playing, but at the same time, Dan's come in when I was ill and he's done well. So I can't really complain, really. But obviously, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not the type to sit in the stand and be happy with that. But like I say, I'm happy that I'm back in the team now, and just glad that we've got a win after such a long time without one.
And I mean, it must be a great feeling to not only gain the win, but then have a look, and results have gone guys' way tonight.
Yeah, it's strange, really. I've never known anything like it. We seem to be, when we do pick up points, or even when we don't, results seem to be going for us, which is a nice change.
Well, we'll stop that interview there, a repeat there of the Stephen Drench interview with Tom Feeney on Tuesday night. But Stephen Drench has been the hero of the hour so far today. There's no question about that. He's pulled off 2 marvellous saves in that first 45 to deny Sampson on 2 occasions. Jack Sampson clear, ran through on goal, just looked to poke the ball past the goalkeeper, an outstretched leg enough to steer it wide of the upright, and then a superb reaction to a header that was creeping under the crossbar. Drench got on top of it and tipped it over. The 2 sides back out now, Chris, ready for the second 45, and the Lions shaping up to take the kick-off. Shooting from left to right in this second half, as the music now will hopefully fade down any moment now. A big 45 of football coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we need to get on the front foot, and we need to start as brightly as we started the first half, really, but make it count this time.
Referee blows the whistle, and we're away, with the Lions punting the ball upfield and rolling through to goalkeeper Richie Brannigan. Brannigan launches it long up towards Sampson. Flicked up in the air. It's not dealt with well at all. Steisch now plays the ball backwards. In fact, it goes all the way back to Halls. But again, Macclesfield starting very early in this game as they finish the first half. They pull the ball into the box in towards Steisch. Bounces over both 25s into the back post where Danny Rowe takes a volley. But the referee had already stopped play for a free kick against Rhys Steisch. And we'll restart with a free kick inside the Guiseley penalty box.
I think Rob Atkinson's a little fortunate there, because it was just 2 players in an aerial battle, to be honest, and in the end neither of them won it as the ball dropped across to Danny Rowe on the left-hand side, and I say he volleys straight over the top of the crossbar. Just a little bit of interaction on Twitter. Dinglebird's been in touch. She sent us a selfie saying front row seats. I'm guessing she might regret that given the weather. And then Dave Kendra has been in touch. Can't believe no one suggested we call the lion Lion-E McLion face.
Guys, he's battling down this right-hand side. Tilson does well here, but he's tackled just on the edge of the penalty areas. He was trying to work his way into the penalty box. It's cleared. Norburn now collects into the feet of Boys. Chipped up in the air, played down by by Lawler. Out to the right-hand side. Now Tilson chanced to cross. Shanks the cross into the box, and it's comfortably cleared. It wasn't the best ball in there from Ryan Tilson.
It was a great ball out from Adam Boys, though, out onto this right-hand side to find Tilson, but I say the ball in, not the best.
A thumping clearance comes in from Jack Sampson.
That was a little bit unnecessary.
He volleys the ball into the crowd of fans standing in front of the stand, seated area of this stand in front that we're in.
It's a great stand like that, isn't it? You've got a stud terracing at the front towards the lower in front of us, and then seating all the way up to the back.
Now Will Hatfield, he just spins on the ball just on the edge of the D. Just can't control as the ball was working its way across the 18-yard box. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Great stand this. Actually a real old-fashioned
I was expecting to say that this is what stands were like in your day.
We didn't have stands in my day. Ollie Johnson trying to win the ball at Macclesfield, step across and take the ball away into the left back position, hoofed upfield, headed on by Atkinson, out for a Macclesfield throw. Another goal in the Vanarama National that Chris will be telling us about in a moment. Fitzpatrick meanwhile with a throw for the home side. He throws it infield as Danny Lowe has to come across to try and track the run of Holdroyd. Visitors in possession of the ball on the halfway line now here with Halls. Tries to spin past Ollie Johnson, gives it to Fitzpatrick. He looks forward, chips the ball towards the edge of the D, comfortably through to Stephen Drench.
Yeah, that big goal that you were talking about will effectively relegate somebody if it stays like this. Chester leading now by 2-0 against Welling United. That will put Welling a minimum of 7 points adrift with, just 2 games to play. So that would also relegate Kidderminster, come think of it, unless they can pull something out of the bag at home to Barrow.
Rob Atkinson battling away to try and nod the ball away from Sampson. Fitzpatrick has the throw, plays it infield, Turnbull. His ball is poor, Danny Lowe collects, but he's closed down quickly by Holroyd and Whittaker. Finds Ollie Johnson, who's not finding the opportunity to be as effective as he was on Tuesday night. Any stretch of the imagination. He runs into trouble but does win Guiseley a throw. In fact, I just wonder whether, 10 minutes into this second half, we might start looking at changes for the Lions.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. The options on the bench, of course. You've got Adam Lockwood, Tom Craddock, Gavin Rothery, Nicky Boschel. Your outfield options, of course, Dan Atkinson as the sub-keeper. Perhaps in this situation, though, obviously he's put Adam Lockwood onto the bench for defensive cover, taking off Adam Smith. Kind of feel like something like Adam Smith, actually, with the pace he can offer on a flank, would have been a better option than Nicky Bosch, in all honesty.
So is the option in Rothery. Needless to say, back underway. There was a free kick against Adam Boys that looked a little frustrating. Just in front of the Guiseley fans. Ollie Johnson for a moment had picked the ball up in space, but the referee blew very quickly to penalise Adam Boys. The Guiseley have a throw midway through the Macclesfield.
Right counter.
And just check the technical status of our broadcast. Guiseley now win a free kick. Sorry about that, we just went off air for a second there. But Guiseley now have a free kick. We're about 25 yards from goal. Ollie Johnson was the man who was tugged back, and this is a really dangerous position, Chris.
Yeah, it's a fair distance out, though. You'd think it would make for a better just dropping the ball into the penalty area, unless, of course, you're Ollie Norburn. He'll see this as a penalty, basically. No, but as I say, we're talking almost 30 yards out. Central of goal, though, slightly on the left-hand side of the D, but I'll say fairly central.
Norburn is the man standing over it, as you say, Chris.
He's had a couple of efforts earlier as well. He's had his warm-up shots.
4-man wall. And there's plenty of Guiseley shirts on the edge of the box, but it blasts straight into the wall.
That's got to sting.
Norburn recovers the second phase of the ball, but he's unable to do much with it. Gives it to Ollie Norburn. He's closed down very quickly. Plays it back out here to Norburn. Norburn lays it into the path of Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe struggles to keep it in, but manages to do so and then play the ball against Sampson and wins Guiseley a corner on the left-hand side as they attack this Macclesfield goal.
Yeah, something good there from Guiseley coming forward, looking to get something from a difficult situation on that left-hand side. Managed to get the corner, and that's just woken them Guiseley fans up on that far side.
Could be a big moment, this. Corner now, 6 players in the box to aim for. Norburn shanks it low. It's a poor corner. Easily cleared at the near post. And very frustrating. The few times that we've managed to get a chance to whip the ball into the box, and Oliver Norburn on that occasion just didn't connect with the delivery you'd come to expect of him.
potentially a key incident in the game at Bromley.
Wait a minute, Chris, because Boys has got the ball through to Dudley on this right-hand side. Can he get the ball across? No, Dudley's just run it out of play. No, he hasn't. It's taken a deflection. The Guiseley have got a corner.
I'm with you on this one.
Dudley wasn't expecting it. Dudley overran it. The referee, though, Stephen Ross, has stuck to his guns and said that is a corner to Guiseley.
And that has absolutely infuriated the home support. And I completely agree with him in honesty. That blatantly, that wasn't even dubious. What I don't understand is the assistant on this near side. What was she thinking? Because she had the best view of the lot and obviously communicates with the referee through the earpieces.
Well, maybe she was the one that gave it. We didn't see down this right-hand side the referee's assistant, Sarah Garrett, and the referee, Stephen Ross, though, have pointed to a corner. And Norburn will get a chance to take this one from the right flank. Curls us in, up towards the penalty spot, headed away. And actually, if anything, it's a chance for Macclesfield to counter-attack. But great header comes in from Danny Lowe. He's got Norburn on the right-hand side. Norburn delivers a good cross into the box. Headed over, though, by Anthony Dudley. And perhaps the best delivery and the best attacking move that Guiseley have had this afternoon came just there. Oliver Norburn's fast-moving ball whipped into the box. Anthony Dudley heading over.
Yeah, we're going to see the first change of the game, and it's going to be for Macclesfield. And it's number 5, George Pilkington, who is being replaced by Neil Byrne. So it's a like-for-like change at centre-half, perhaps a knock to Pilkington. In terms of the incident that I referred to earlier on, the sending off at Bromley. Bromley down to 10 men and trailing by a 1-0 against Torquay. Elsewhere, Braintree have gone 3-1 up against 10-man Gateshead. That's at Gateshead as well, so that would be quite the result for Braintree, of course, though, going well in search of a playoff spot.
Norburn just swipes a ball at a foot at the ball and misses it. And Macclesfield can't capitalise. Jake Lawler's pulled over by Sampson, much to the displeasure of the home fans on that occasion. I think the referee, though, absolutely right.
Yeah, he's not making himself popular, though, is he, Stephen Ross, with the home support?
Free kick to Guiseley midway through their own half. Still 0-0 here. And 55 minutes gone. The Lions have acquitted themselves a little better, though, in the last... well, the starting 10 minutes of this second period. They've had some of the brighter moments of this second half. Toulson now with a throw towards Boys. Headed out by Fitzpatrick. Guiseley will get another throw, level with the penalty area on the right flank.
Yeah, Ryan Toulson's going to come forward again to take this throw in. Nobody really getting forward to spot him in the box. So you'd expect this one to be another short one.
Fourth official just picks out another ball because it's gone out of the ground. And Ryan Toulson lays it into Norburn, who gives it to Dudley, who on this occasion can't keep the ball in play. And on this occasion it is a Macclesfield throw-in. Dudley closes down Fitzpatrick ever so well, though. It is flicked on nonetheless by Whittaker. Ben Parker now. Huge boot through the ball. Knocks it out of play. And it's back to where we were, really. Macclesfield throw in left back position. Still 0-0. If you're just joining us here on Guiseley Radio, tweet us at Guiseley Radio. We're in a very important afternoon, a very important 45 minutes. The Lions battling to keep on to their Vanarama national status. The relegation fight goes on because Macclesfield are pressing now on the right-hand side. It's a chance here for Halls to go forward, but Guiseley have set themselves defensively fairly well. Now Turnbull spins on the ball, back to Halls. Looks to get the cross, plays a good ball in here to Danny Rowe, who peels off again very well. Back heel. Finds Sampson inside the 18-yard box. Lays it back now to Turnbull. Turnbull square here to Fitzpatrick. Back out to the left-hand flank now. Stice. Stice takes a drilled shot across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick. Super move there from Macclesfield. But in the end, the finish wasn't really applied very well. And it's a goal kick to Guiseley.
Yeah, really good move that from Macclesfield. Came to Reece Starch and he only had one thing in mind to get it across goal. Elsewhere, another massive goal, this time on the south coast. Eastleigh have taken the lead against Altrincham. They now lead by a 1-0 with half an hour or so still to go there.
So that could be a huge, huge moment there with Eastleigh taking the lead.
Going to see another change now for the Silkman, and it's Paul Lewis, the number 8, who is coming on, and he's replacing, I think it was number 10, Jack Sampson.
Substitution for the Silkman.
Well, Jack Sampson had 2 great chances in the first half. You might be wondering how he hasn't got himself onto the score sheet. He's a rather disconsolate figure as he trudges off the field to make way for Paul Lewis. Denied twice by Stephen Drench in that opening 45 minutes. He'll get no goals this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he'll consider himself very unlucky, to be honest, that he has come up against Stephen Drenchin, who so far has shown some really good form in this game.
Now we get back underway with Macclesfield chasing the ball. Atkinson goes to ground. He's bundled over by Steisch. I don't think there can be too much of a complaint about that. And again, you can see the snow and the sleet falling here. Perfect. It feels suddenly very much more like November than or January than April.
Absolutely. Another goal in the National League.
The ball goes forward. There's a slip in the box, and Anthony Dudley almost capitalises on Fitzpatrick's slip. In the end, it's hoisted away, and it's out for a Guiseley throw. Sorry, we'll come to you in a moment, Chris.
It's fine.
Ball from nowhere, almost creating a chance for Guiseley. Now Ollie Johnson down that left-hand side. He's having a run at the ball. He's played a lovely one in here to Danny Lowe, but Danny Lowe is tackled and goes to ground. He feels he's been fouled. Referee gives the throw. Danny Lowe is up. He's incandescent. But it's going to be simply a throw, which Ollie Norburn wants to take very quickly. Still 0-0. Half an hour to go. And Guiseley have a throw about level with the 6-yard box. In here to Norburn. Back to Lowe. Lowe tries to get the cross into the box. It goes up towards Boys. It's headed beyond him and comfortably back in the arms of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was simple for Brannigan to deal with. Well worked though from the throw-in. Yes, I'll say that goal has gone in. Not too crucial from our situation. Dover have equalised at home to Grimsby though, so a big goal in the playoff hunt.
Grimsby sort of trundling into the playoff zone at the moment. They're not in good form.
Yeah, at one stage they were down to 6 or 7 points off the title race. As you say, they've not been the greatest of form as they will be going into the playoffs.
Steisch now on the ball for Macclesfield. Ben Parker steps across and gets a foot away, but still Macclesfield in an advanced position, pressing, and they get the rub of the green as the ball runs through here to Steisch on the edge of the D. He's got players around him, and then a free kick is given against Steisch for a little nudge in the back, but he felt he was fouled. And now Guiseley get the ball moving quickly up the other end of the field as the ball rolls out here to Toulson on the halfway line. Toulson plays it up towards Dudley, and then Fitzpatrick tries to keep it from going out for a corner, and in the end succeeds, but knocks it out for a throw to Guiseley about level with the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side.
Yeah, that was all for nothing really, because he could have let that ball roll out. Nobody in a Guiseley shirt was getting that close to closing him down.
Jake Lawler tries to play the ball over towards Anthony Dudley, just is cut out, but Toulson gets the second phase. Dudley now nods on, finds Hatfield. Hatfield's crossfield ball causes some hesitation amongst goalkeeper and defender, but there's no yellow shirt in there to capitalise anyway, and it rolls all the way out for a throw-in for Macclesfield in right-back position.
Yeah, if Guys can get a couple of yellow shirts, a couple more yellow shirts forward though, and look to pen Macclesfield back from this throw-in. This throw-in's 3 or 4 yards away from the corner flag, although he's just stolen another 6 or 7.
Header's intercepted actually from Guiseley, and Guiseley come forward down this right-hand side. If Toulson can just keep the ball in play, he can. Chips it forward. Finds Dudley. Dudley lays it into the path of Hatfield. Hatfield's 3 on him. He plays it back well here to find Toulson. Toulson straight into the feet of Dudley. Gets the return ball, but his first touch on his left foot was a little bit heavy. Atkinson's headed the ball up in the air as the hoofed clearance tries to pick out Steisch. And Atkinson manages to do enough here to get a second bite of the cherry and put a firm boot through the ball. It's not well dealt with actually by Macclesfield. Dudley on the ball on the right hand side. He's tackled, and this time Fitzpatrick is adjudged to have not touched the ball on the way out, and it's a throw into Macclesfield.
Don't forget you can get in touch with us on Twitter at Guiseley Radio. It's the Twitter handle. So Dave Kendra been back in touch. He says the family have retreated / been sent to the back room. The only place that he can get Guiseley Radio is through the telly in the living room. I've never been on the well, I have,
no,
but
this is it. We're on the telly now.
Not for 90 minutes.
And there's good reason for that.
He says it's tense here. Yeah, tell us about it, Dave.
It's tense here. Atkinson heads the ball up, plays it to Tilson, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Drench. Clearance from Steve Drench. Up to the halfway line. Hatfield goes for the aerial challenge. Doesn't win out against Turnbull, but gets the second ball. Back from Boys. Now Ollie Johnson. Reverse pass forward, blocked. Well watched there. And then Tilson steps across to put the challenge in before any counter-attacking move can be worked up by the ever dangerous Danny Rowe, who looks a real live wire for me. Rowe now cuts in field, looks across and plays it to the right back, Halls. Turnbull, square now to Lewis, the substitute, on the centre circle. Guiseley all set, 2 banks of 4 yellow shirts ahead of Macclesfield as they try to break down. Whittaker and Turnbull still some distance from goal, still looking for the key pass. They find Danny Rowe now, and he lays one into Station. That is another attacking move that really comes to naught, and it rolls back to the goalkeeper Stephen Drench. 0-0. 65 minutes gone in this game.
How are your nerves?
Not good. Clearance from Stephen Drench. Dudley and Fitzpatrick trying to win the ball. Fitzpatrick feels his eye for a moment. Guiseley win the throw. Tilson throws it forward up towards Boys. Nod on from Boys. A lunge by Fitzpatrick to put it behind for a Guiseley corner on the right hand side. And that's a sloppily conceded corner, I think, from Macclesfield perspective, but chance again for the line to get the bodies forward.
Yeah, Boys did well there. Just tried to flick it infield towards Anthony Dudley. Fitzpatrick wasn't taking his chances. I thought at first he was going to go for a throw, and so he sent it the wrong way behind for a corner.
Hatfield to take, floats it in towards the near post. Again, it just doesn't have the length, really. The corners and set pieces haven't been good from Guiseley today. Ball forward from Tilson as Macclesfield can't clear the lines. Hatfield again will take the throw, takes it quickly, gives it to Tilson. Tilson into the odds, Dudley. Dudley back to the halfway line where Atkinson chips it up in the end. Again, it's not really an effective ball forward. And this time it's headed clear. Now Tilson nods it up, picked up by Hatfield. Hatfield is bundled over by Turnbull. Free kick will be given to Guiseley on the right hand side. It's again a chance here. It's a good position this, isn't it, for the Lions? We can whip this one into the box, but we just need to find our set piece boots.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Oliver Norburn, he started out taking him. Interesting to know that Will Hatfield took that last corner, and it wasn't a great deal better, in honesty. Hopefully Norburn back on this free kick, only a yard or so in.
Norburn floats it into the box, up towards the back post. Jake Lawler loses out in the aerial challenge. Goes as far as Danny Lowe, though. Lowe back into the box. Lawler, he's challenged. And then Holroyd can clear for Macclesfield. But Guiseley having more of the ball and having more spells of pressure on this Macclesfield back line than certainly we were for long spells in that first half.
Yeah, and as you can probably sense as well, it's frustrating the home fans that little bit, isn't it? I mean, you know, despite the fact that there's nothing to play for them for the rest of the season, they obviously still want to see the side go out and put out good performances. And at the moment, Guiseley have done well to get that bit of an upper hand at the moment.
Ball's cleared once again. And it's out for a Guiseley throw on the halfway line. Danny Lowe will take. He plays it down the left-hand side, up towards Boys. It goes well over him. Nodded back to the goalkeeper. And it's into the hands of Richie Brannigan. I thought he might not have been playing this afternoon. Sent off last week against Dover, but the red card rescinded during an appeal this week. Now Whittaker on the ball for Macclesfield as they look to change the aspect of this game. Good ball into the box from Rowe. It's somehow scrambled away by Atkinson. Picked up now by Steisch. Steisch muscles off Norburn, but his little ball in towards the front man. I think it was Lewis who was the intended target. Is cut out. It goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And then helped away. Up now to Danny Rowe. He plays a ball in field now to Lewis. Lewis into the feet of Whittaker. Good movement now from Macclesfield onto the right-hand side. They cut in field. The ball towards the edge of the D. Found by Danny Rowe, who takes a shot. A good spin on the ball on the edge of the D. A drive with his left foot. Just goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad an effort though. Didn't have a great deal on that. As Macclesfield now make their third and final change, and unsurprisingly Christian Dennis is going to make an appearance. He's going to come on for the remainder of this game. I'll be honest though, I didn't see who's gone off. I would hazard a guess.
It was Rhys Steisch.
Yeah. Like for like change up front. Of course, Mark Bowett yet to make any changes. Adam Lockwood, Tom Craddock, Gavin Rothery, Nicky Boschel and Dan Atkinson make up the Guiseley substitutes bench.
Lewis now wins the ball straight away. Finds Whittaker. Whittaker down the right-hand side. Holroyd making a surging run down that right flank. Gets the ball into the box. Touch on the ball from Christian Dennis. His first touch. And he might have sent it goal bound, but in the end he hit it with the outside of his left foot and it just went wide of the upright. But it was a good move there from Macclesfield, and immediately you can see the ball being played into the near post where Christian Dennis takes up that poacher's position.
Yeah, he's looking for number 29 of the season. And if I'm right in thinking, he's only on loan from Stockport County. And the way that Macclesfield's season has gone, I'm sure they'll be looking to try and keep him here for next season if they can. But likewise, it wouldn't surprise me if there's bigger clubs perhaps sniffing around him.
Ollie Johnson picks up the ball now for Guiseley on the left-hand side. 2 up against him, gets into the box, plays it across the 6-yard box, cleared. And Macclesfield come away with the ball once again. He's working ever so hard, Ollie Johnson, to try and win that ball back. But Macclesfield get it up towards Dennis. Can't control it and can't take it down. Interestingly with Christian Dennis, I've always thought against us, he's never had a great game. We've often...
well, you've done it now.
I know, I shouldn't have said that. But we've often played very well against Stockport County. And I think Christian Dennis has often cut a very, pretty miserable figure against us. So I wonder whether he's got a point to prove.
You've well and truly done it now, haven't you? But no, as you say, he hasn't had the best of times against us. Just a couple of goals elsewhere. Chester are now 3-0 up against Welling. Eastleigh now 2 up against Altrincham. So in that situation, I suppose, good on both fronts there. It's also now Gateshead 2, Braintree 3. I'd say the Heed down to 10 men.
No, I think I'd rather have seen Welling beat Chester, to be honest, today. Welling, I don't think, would get out of it, but Chester could be dragged into it.
True.
I think we...
So in that case, we have to take the rough with the smooth then, with Altrincham being 2 goals down away at Eastleigh as a bonus.
I think it's Altrincham and Boreham Wood we need to see losing. Dennis now picks up the ball, but he's dispossessed by Ryan Tulson. But it doesn't fall kindly for Lions. And then Danny Rowe with a great bit of skill. Plays it into Whittaker, out to this left-hand side. Chance for Fitzpatrick to cross. Plenty in the box to aim for. It goes up towards the back post. Stephen Drench gets it clattered into. But Drench holds on to it. And the referee says, just get up. And Stephen Drench makes nothing of it and does so. Still 0-0 with less than 20 minutes to go. Goals going in all the other games, but not here. Still scoreless. And Guiseley haven't really created a shot that's caused Brannigan to save it, but still pressing. Enjoyed plenty more pressure in the second than they have in the first. Dennis now wins a header as he flicks on the counter-attack here. Lewis on the left-hand side up against Jake Lawler. Lawler and Lewis stick down to the left flank. Lewis looks to get the cross. He does. It goes over the top of Stephen Drench, but there's nobody in there. Holroyd eventually will chase and try to keep the ball in play on that right-hand side. He's closed down by Danny Lowe. Knocked out for a Macclesfield throw. Taken quickly into the feet of Halls. Halls, Whittaker. Back to Halls. Halls forward. And they go square here. And Guiseley again set themselves into defensive shape, and on that occasion Anthony Dudley can defend. Boys all the way back, chasing down to try and win the ball off McComb. Fitzpatrick wins it. Jack Lawler getting a foot in, but it still falls kindly for Fitzpatrick. Infield now. Lewis finds Whittaker, gets the ball back. Lewis hits one with his left foot from some distance, about 25 yards, and it's high and wide and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he got the shots all wrong there, didn't he, Paul Lewis? The build-up was nice, but when it came to actually getting the shots off, high and wide. Come more things on Twitter. Don't forget to get in touch at Guiseley Radio. George McPherson, we need to get something out of this game and the next two to get to the 50-point mark that Mark Bauer wants. Well, as I say, if we can get to that 50 points, we'll be doing very, very well.
Don't care as long as we stay up.
And then Ben Cropper, enjoying listening, boys. He's referred to possibility going full-time. We cannot possibly comment on that. It's a nice idea, though, for me anyway. That's my opinion.
Can't imagine that we would, to be honest, in any time soon.
I've got a bone to pick with Ben there, though. He says when we stay up. Ben, it's still not confirmed yet. There's still a lot of football to be played to confirm that. But thanks for listening.
We're going to have a substitute soon. I think I've just seen Gavin Rothery getting stripped off, ready to come on. Meanwhile, it's Macclesfield to come forward. The ball from Fitzpatrick, rather, falls kindly for Guiseley. And then it's played up towards Adam Boys. Bounces down and away. And it's Whittaker who can play a lovely ball down this left-hand side. He finds Danny Rowe. The Macclesfield man cuts into the box, plays it across the face of goal. And Danny Lowe can clear and get it up to the halfway line. Tries to pick out Dudley, but again, Fitzpatrick, who's seen a lot more of the ball in this second period, wins it back, and it's into the feet of Turnbull. Holroyd and Turnbull exchange passes. Again, Guiseley currently very much in defensive mode. Dennis now plays it back to Holroyd. Holroyd tips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, over the head of Lawler. Kept in play, though, on the far side by Rowe. Rowe crosses up towards the back post. Dennis is there, but an important header from Ben Parker takes it away from him before it lands there. And it goes out for a throw to Macclesfield, just up from the corner flag on that right-hand side.
Well, we are going to see a change fairly shortly. It's Oliver Norburn's number that's up, as and when they can make that sub happen. Wouldn't imagine it now being now those guys who concede a corner.
Yeah, Dennis's cross just takes a deflection just by that corner flag on the right-hand side, and so it's a Macclesfield corner. And they've got plenty of blue shirts as well on the edge of the box looking to press. Dennis is right next to Stephen Drench inside the 6-yard box. And the sun is shining now after the snow and the sleet. And the ball whips in towards the edge of that 6-yard box, headed home. And it's Paul Lewis who scored, and Guiseley concede. And it could be a very damaging goal indeed for the Lions. 75 minutes gone. Substitute Paul Lewis heads home to give the home side the lead. It's Macclesfield Town 1, Guiseley 0.
Oh, it's awful defending. Terrible defending from Guiseley. A fairly simple run towards the near post from Paul Lewis. Glances it across goal. Take nothing away from the header. But the defending, nobody picked him up. Nobody picked up Paul Lewis with the easiest of runs. And that's... Well, Mark Bauer will be disgusted with that. He said before this season that we haven't been good enough at defending set pieces and we've conceded too many from set pieces. That's one of the worst for me. A good header and a good run, but nobody was even challenging him.
Well, in all that time, Oliver Norburn has now just gone off, and he's been replaced by Rothery. And Guiseley trail by 1-0 with 15 minutes to go. Forward from Atkinson. The Lions need to respond now. Every point is absolutely vital. And at the moment, they're getting nothing from this game. Whittaker on the ball, back here to Turnbull. Turnbull out to the left-hand side. Fitzpatrick over the halfway line. Macclesfield back in attacking mood. Rowe down the left flank. Finds Lewis, the goal scorer, the substitute who scored. Plays the ball to the edge of the D. Whittaker again on the ball. Lays it back here to Turnbull. Turnbull floats it in towards the back post. It's a good one from Holroyd, who tried to lay it back into the path of Dennis. And Guiseley almost completely picked apart again. And there's another big goal, and it's not good news for the Lions. Turnbull on the ball, square here to Whittaker. Oh, he's taken a bit of a tumble. Ollie Johnson now picks up the ball. Guys, you need to have some attacking purpose here. Johnson's leading on his own. Rides one challenge, but he won't ride the second. And it's going to be comfortably defended by Neil Byrne, the substitute centre-half, but he blasts it straight into Gavin Rothery. Gets the ball back from Johnson. Rothery needs to hit it. Plays it a reverse one in towards Boys. Almost goes through to him, but it's defended well by Macclesfield. And now guys need to return the ball as it's gone all the way back to Stephen Drench.
There's been a couple of big goals at both ends of the table. We'll start where it matters, at the bottom. Boreham Wood have taken the lead at Aldershot. They're now leading by 2-1. Elsewhere, Woking have equalised at Forest Green. So as things stand, Cheltenham will be confirmed champions today.
Now Danny Rose coming forward for Macclesfield again. Gets the ball to the left flank. Lewis crosses. Blocked by Toulson. It's going to be a throw to Macclesfield. About level with the 6-yard box on that left-hand side. Macclesfield leading by 1-0. 12 minutes to go in this game. This afternoon with Boreham Wood winning, Altrincham losing, Chester winning. It means that it makes the prospect of a game at Boreham Wood next Saturday, well, ever more huge. Ball now with Rowe. Rowe tries to skip past Jake Lawler. He does. Takes deflection off the guys in midfielder, but Lawler does well to prevent it going behind for a corner. It's picked up though once again. Fitzpatrick. Square to Turnbull. Turnbull goes back to the halfway line. And again, Guiseley just defend, but Macclesfield don't need to press. They've got nothing really to play for this season other than pride and places. The ball forward by McComb is hoisted clear again by Atkinson. But again, there's just no body in the yellow shirt to capitalise. And again, Macclesfield move the ball away from the back quite well. But Boys now intercepts a slightly loose touch there from Whittaker. But guys, he almost give the ball away. Hatfield has to battle hard to keep the ball ticking over. Gives it now to Toulson. Toulson towards Dudley. Dudley can't get past his marker in Fitzpatrick, but he can win a throw off him. Toulson will take into the feet of Rothery. Then Toulson lobs it up in the air. Boys can't win the ball, but Lawler can. Flicked on by Boys, but goes straight to Whittaker. Whittaker in towards Lewis. Good tackle from Jake Lawler, but it'll go out for a Macclesfield throw. And we're going to have another substitution, Chris.
Yeah, Tom Craddock is going to come on. Surely not for Boys at this stage. We need to keep both strikers on for me. He is going to come on. And he's replacing Jake Lawler. So it's a 4-4-2. By all accounts, Will Hatfield and Gavin Rothery will drop back into the centre midfield. And then Tom Craddock and Adam Boys up top. You look puzzled at me, Colin.
Little puzzled. Just to see how this lines up.
Well, Rothery's definitely dropped back.
Jake Lawler's been impressive today. I don't think it's any comment on his performance. It's clearly tactical, but guys, you need the goal. At the moment, Macclesfield are in possession. Fitzpatrick to Whittaker. Into the feet of Holroyd, who gets the ball to the right-hand side. Halls cuts in field. Square finds Fitzpatrick again. Back out to the right-hand side, just steady away from Macclesfield, holding onto the ball, moving forward now. Hall's on the right flank, plays the ball into the area, and Lewis, the goal scorer, this time is offside. Free kick to Guisey inside the penalty area, but still a goal down with 9 minutes, or less than 9 minutes to go, plus stoppages. What an important 10 minutes this could be or so for Guisey.
Elsewhere, Tranmere have equalised at home against Wrexham, 1-1 there. But as you say, you know, what we're going to lack now perhaps, or what we're relying on Will Hatfield to do, is provide a little bit of midfield grit, really, that ball-winning aspect of the midfielder's game. But we have to commit people forward now. We may as well go and lose 2 or 3-0, to be honest, at this stage.
Dudley now takes over in the middle of the park, but he's surrounded by 4 players. He needs to find someone to pick out. He does in the end in Hatfield. Boys to Hatfield. rides one challenge. Hatfield goes down. He's going to win a free kick. Might have been better if he'd been able to continue, but it's a free kick just in front of the dugout. That means that Guiseley, well, they're going to try and punt this one forward, I think, with Gavin Rothery to take. But it's a difficult one to deliver with any pace at this angle.
Yeah, both Ben Parker and Rob Atkinson have gone forward for it.
Rothery will take it. Whips this one up towards the penalty spot. Headed away rather comfortably. Low. Tries to close it down, but Dennis is there to win the ball back. Ollie Johnson blasts it into Christian Dennis. And then Danny Lowe gets the challenge in on him, but only at the expense of a throw-in. Now Macclesfield just taking their time. They are a goal to the good. And Guiseley evermore need some sort of response. And Tom Craddock tries to close down that back line. The Lions need to press that back line like they were doing earlier on in the second half. But Holroyd now riding the challenges as he comes forward, plays it to the right flank. It's with Dennis. He plays it infield now. Finds Turnbull, who drills one from distance way over the bar. Guiseley will have a goal kick.
Yeah, not a great deal to write home about that effort there. We are going to see, I think, another change for Guiseley fairly shortly, and as Justin Martin Stringfellow hand a note to the fourth official, presumably that's got to be Nicky Boschel, unless he wants to chuck a big man up top in the form of Adam Lockwood. Desperate times for desperate measure and all that, but no, it is Nicky Boschel who is going to come on.
Ollie Johnson, possibly? No.
Anthony Dudley.
Anthony Dudley, yeah. Just wonder whether Ollie Johnson might have, run out of steam, but no. Anthony Dudley, I mean, he's had a
hit and miss
mixed game. A game out on the right-hand side as well.
Well, Nicky Boschel has just come like for like onto this right-hand side of midfield.
I think with Anthony Dudley, I think he's had his better games on the left.
This is where, for me, having Adam Smith on the bench instead of Nicky Boschel would have worked out as a better option, personally.
Well, unless he wasn't quite fit. Guys, you have a free kick anyway. They're level with the centre circle, middle of the park. Again, difficult one to see how we'll distribute this one. It's, opportunity to poke the ball into the box. But, really, it's difficult to see how the ball will be delivered from the centre. Nicky Boschel takes, he floats it over the top. It's headed rather comfortably away. Hatfield wins the second ball, goes to ground under a challenge, but there's a counter-attack on now as Macclesfield come away with it. It's Rowe down the left-hand side. He's up against Tilson. Rowe gets in towards the edge of the area. Tilson sticks to his task excellently, gets the challenge in, but it's at the expense of a corner. Yeah, Guiseley turn almost attack into defence within one move there.
Yeah, I was going to say Macclesfield turning defence completely into attack very quickly there. Good counter-attack with pace from Macclesfield, but completely not what Guiseley need at this stage.
Corner to the Siltman. Macclesfield press with 5 in the box. Dennis is on the goalkeeper. 4 on the edge of the 6-yard box. A little flick in towards that near post. And again, the ball delivered into the near post. Dennis this time, his header not on target. And still remains 1-0 again with just 5 minutes to go.
Again, Christian Dennis, though, got away from all defenders far too easily. Been another goal at Chester, 4-0. Welling very much going down without a whimper.
Let's think back to the opening game of the season, that trip down to Welling where we dominated the game and somehow managed to lose 1-0.
Yeah, Tom Craddock hit both post and crossbar in that game. So watch the highlights just before the Cheltenham game last Saturday and couldn't help but think, what if, for Tom Craddock in particular. If he gets that goal or 2 goals on the opening day of the season, he goes into the season with confidence. Things just haven't gone well for him.
Throw in for Guiseley. Tilson will take it midway through the Macclesfield half. Tilson, as a sign of desperation, is going to launch this one in from distance. Goes up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, not surprisingly headed away. Now Hatfield can't take the ball down. He's under tremendous pressure. He has to go back to Tilson. Tilson in turn has to go back to Ben Parker. Good defending from Macclesfield. Stephen Drench. It's going to be closed down by Dennis. This one goes long up towards Nicky Boschel, who's got fresh legs for this last 5 minutes. Every player needs to put everything in and see if we can just grab something late on in this game. Still 1-0 to Macclesfield.
Aldershot are down to 10 men as well, with Borehamwood winning by 2-1 at the moment. Torquay have got a second goal at Bromley. They lead by 2-0, also up against 10 men.
Throwing goes in. Boys flicks it on. Headed up in the air. Taken away, actually I thought by Rowe, but he swiped a foot at it and missed the ball completely. Guys, you have a throw. Tilson takes it quickly, finds Boschel. Peels off for a moment. Rothery into Tilson. Tilson will deliver into the box, but he can't find his way through. Falls kindly there for a moment towards Boschel. But again, Guiseley closed down, and again, Macclesfield will clear. We should just get a shot away if we could. It would help, but the clearance again from Macclesfield out for a Guiseley throw.
Tranmere 1, Wrexham 2. Red Dragons regaining the lead at Prenton Park.
Throw from Tilson inside his own half. Everybody inside the Macclesfield half now as the Lions finally muster some sort of attacking intent, but Ollie Johnson's forced back to the halfway line by Halls. He spins on the ball and sends it down the left-hand channel, but there's nobody in that position that he would normally occupy in this game, and Macclesfield can clear. It goes back. Atkinson. He's got Dennis on him. Dennis gets a foot in but knocks it out for a throw. We really are into last chance saloon. As soon it's a minute to go of normal plus whatever stoppages the fourth official will add. And guys are in left back position at the moment with a throw. And it's blasted forward by Danny Lowe up towards Craddock. Craddock can't win the header. It's nodded down in field, but again the ball falls to a blue shirt.
That's been the theme of this game, hasn't it? Everything just seems to have dropped for Macclesfield in terms of picking up the second balls and the second phases of play.
It's not bad luck, it's good positioning as well. You know, you can't
Yeah.
bemoan your luck in these instances. But here, Guiseley trail by 1-0, and Guiseley beginning to look a little bit like they can't get the ball into the Macclesfield half. They get the repeat of a throw from left back as they had a few moments ago, and this time they can't clear. And I think with just 5 seconds to go of the 45, we'll find out now. 3 minutes only. 3 minutes only, and now it's Dennis on the right hand side, and he manages to keep hold of the ball. In fact, it falls kindly here almost for Whittaker. Gavin Rothery very swiftly across, has to do some really tremendous work to prevent it going out for a corner and to rob Whittaker from getting the ball and run through on goal. It's going to be a throw in for Macclesfield though. It's the perfect end to the game from their point of view. Just able to run the clock down. A throw just up from the corner flag. I think it was 1,485 here today.
Almost 1,408. 129 from Guiseley. Great support as ever.
Ball cleared. Thanks, Chris.
What was the additional time? Because I didn't see that.
3. Not enough. Well, it feels like one of those afternoons where it could be 30. It might not be enough because we haven't really tested the goalkeeper at all this afternoon.
Now it's fair to say Richie Brannigan has probably had one of the quietest games of his season in terms of actually making saves. We put a couple of crosses in and that kind of thing, but what was the last actual shot we had on target?
I can't think of one.
I can't think of one.
Honest to goodness, I can't think of one. Macclesfield have a throw inside their own half. And it's picked up now by Craddock. Craddock runs over the halfway line. He's got 3 or 4 players around him. Manages to play the ball forward, but it's blocked. Nodded up in the air by Rothery. Good tackling comes in here from Lowe. Lowe now picks the ball up. Player down outside the area. But guys, he pick it up here with Hatfield. Plays it out to Tilson on the right-hand side. Tilson crosses towards the back post. Last chance here for Guiseley. Headed up into the area. Header in from Ollie Johnson. A scramble in the box. Could Guiseley get it in? No. Straight into the goalkeeper's arms on the edge of the 6-yard box. Surely that will be that. There is a player down on the halfway line. But Brannigan produces a tremendous last-ditch save as Ollie Johnson was trying to poke the ball into the back of the net at the very end of this game. But that surely will be it. What with 2 minutes of the 3 played, we'll have this injury, and I can't see Guiseley getting another chance. I can't see us making up another opportunity. But that was
the
moment,
the closest we've come as well. And it was Will Hatfield, I think, was the last man to try and swing something at it, just as Brannigan got a grasp of it. But that kind of situation where we get the ball, a really good cross from Tulson that actually caused some chaos and some real problems for the defence there with the amount of yellow shirts in. That's the first time we've really done that in this game, and that's coming the 92nd minute.
That's so frustrating.
Overall, it didn't feel like it's been such a bad performance from us. But realising that neither of us can remember the last shot on target we had in this game kind of tells its own story. The first half, there was promise. We started the second half, not so badly, but since that Macclesfield goal, up until that moment just then, we really struggled to get the ball anywhere near the Macclesfield 18-yard box. And it's finished, Borehamwood 2, Aldershot 1.
Well, we'll go through the permutations of that final table for this evening, or this afternoon, but it's certainly not a promising situation for Guiseley now. Not as promising as it was at the start of play. Mark did warn in his post-match interview against Wrexham. He said we might find that things turn against us again, as much as they turned for us on Tuesday night. And we have to be prepared for that. And
certainly
feels
the
like
case
it today, doesn't it? Say Altrincham in trouble. Welling and Kidderminster will be down tonight. Borehamwood will know it's in their own hands. They can beat us in their mind now, and that makes it just such a bigger game than you might have feared. Torquay now safe, if that's finished 2-0. And here we should have another minute, but the ball bounces into the goalkeeper, who in turn lofts it forward.
Yeah, surely he has to add that time that's just been used on.
Ball is cleared by Macclesfield into the Guiseley half. It'll be a throw, which Daniel Ode will take. Guiseley have to throw the kitchen sink at this Macclesfield defence in the last moment. And, Tom Craddock, one last chance. Urged on by the brilliant support.
Get forward.
Everyone urged into the box. Gavin Rothery. Danny Lowe needs to get the cross in. Plays it short into Craddock. Back here to Rothery. Rothery. Central now. Toulson plays the ball first time into the box. Headed away. Hatfield has to chase, but it's going to be picked up here by a blue shirt. And the referee blows the whistle. And a hugely disappointing afternoon for Guiseley. A late goal with 15 minutes to go from Paul Lewis, the substitute, heading home from a corner where he found himself unmarked at the near post. And it's cost Guiseley dearly. It's finished here, Macclesfield Town 1, Guiseley 0.
Such a disappointment, really, after the ecstasy of Tuesday night. It was always going to be difficult to get the same level of performance that we saw on Tuesday straight away in the next game, but from a situation where we could have got so much more than we actually have done, and with results elsewhere, it's been overall a very disappointing afternoon.
Let's get to the business end. Let's get those scores, Chris.
So these are all full times or latest scores in the Vanarama National League. Aldershot 1, Borehamwood 2, Bromley 0, Torquay United 2, Cheltenham 2, FC Halifax Town 0, Chester 4, Welling 0, Dover 1, Grimsby 1, Eastleigh 2, Altrincham 0, Forest Green 1, Woking 1, Gateshead 2, Braintree 3, Kidderminster 0, Barrow 0, Macclesfield 1, Guiseley 0, Southport 2, Lincoln City 2, and Tranmere Rovers 1, Wrexham 2. So, first and foremost, that confirms Kidderminster and Welling's relegation from the Vanarama National League, as we suspected some time ago that would be the case. Then, from the bottom up, Altrincham have played 44 and are on 41 points. Halifax drop into the bottom 4, played 43 points. Then Borehamwood, their win escapes them from the bottom 4 for this week at least. 44 games played and 44 points. Then come Guiseley, 44 played and 46 points. Chester, 44 points and 44 played and 48 points. And then, so it's just changed there. Torquay, 43 played, 47 points.
No, I think that they're talking about up to 50 points, but that's what changed there.
Something's just changed.
Torquay have won 2-0. They've just not updated the table here, but you look at that and how expensive a point that could be that we've dropped today, because Halifax, with that game in hand, well, they'll be back on level terms with us if they are to win it, and you've got to fancy that Halifax will start winning some games into the last three. Boreham Wood now have the chance to overcome us as well on Saturday. That makes it an absolutely huge game in Hertfordshire next week.
Yeah, this next few days is going to be unbearable pretty much, because, as you say, Halifax, they entertain Eastleigh on Tuesday night. If they win that, they will go level on points with us. We have got to be hoping and praying for an Eastleigh win on Tuesday night first and foremost, and then next Saturday doesn't even bear thinking about. We've got to travel to London, to Boreham Wood, and we've got to get something. We cannot afford to lose at Boreham Wood, otherwise it's on the final day, and I don't think I can take that personally.
I don't know if it would even go as far as the final day. It's a big game now. It's a big game. It's been a very disappointing afternoon here. It's finished Macclesfield 1, Guiseley 0. Thanks for joining us. We'll see when we can join you again, and well, who knows, hopefully we can be singing something more positively, but today I'm afraid we're singing the blues. See you next time.